Okay, well, I'm going to put this
Hello! Sorry about the late start. We had a few audio issues. For some reason, the mics weren't working. I think they're working now. Give us a message in chat if they're not, because we need to fix that. But we're back with Tabletop Tuesdays. I'm joined by a very stressed Grace.
I'm on top of everything.
And a very chill and relaxed Peter Stewart.
I am trying to ground. I will try and ground us all today with...
Tell you what, I'm ready for some trees.
Yeah, let's tree it up.
With some soothing
Didn't make
tones.
it onto the sofa, but that's fine.
So you might have noticed that the trailer for Total War 3 Kingdoms 8 Princes is now live, which is the exact amount of time that we thought we had and exactly when we wanted it to go live.
Definitely today is the day.
Definitely plan for that.
We wanted
and
to
it
set
is a
it live.
little bit disappointing because we also put the patch notes live for beta, the beta for 1.1.1, yeah.
Which is actually a really,
amazing
really good patch.
Really cool stuff, a lot of fixes. But the good news is it's beta, we can reshare it when it goes live.
And we're streaming it tomorrow as well.
Yeah.
So
but
join
it's
us for
just
that.
worth noting that 8 Princes is super exciting and amazing. Also had a super exciting and amazing patch. So like
8 Princes is very cool. And that trailer is actually sick.
Very, very cool.
I like the one that wears a leopard print.
Yeah.
I like its aesthetic.
Yeah. I used to be a big fan of Sun Jian in the main game as well. Or Sun Tzu, whichever one has a little leopard.
Do you know what his unique resource is called? Control. All right. Welcome back to the Sexy Tree Stream, where we are playing Legacy of Dragonholt. We are currently back in Dragonholt Village. I say back, it's the first time we've ever been. We're kicking things off with the map. So if you haven't watched the first episode of this, or if you weren't with us at the point, you can catch up on the VODs on Total War Live on YouTube. But essentially, what we're going to be doing here, thanks Pete, what we're going to be doing here is, as a team, we're going to be working through a choose-your-own-adventure story. I am Maik, the Catman Apothecary. I am joined by Grace, who is...
Wildlander Elf.
Yeah, called Mayfly by us, but doesn't actually have a name.
Yes.
And Pete is...
Yggdrasil Anvilbound.
The dwarf.
The dwarf.
And you're a brawler, which means you're good at fighting.
Yeah, like real life.
Like an age that
look
says
at me.
middle-aged?
It does have a question
Nice
mark.
to be back with Tree Fam.
Hell yeah. We're back in the trees. Speaking of trees, we left off at the orchard. So if you look in the old map here. Well, so we're just picking one of these again. So we finished the orchard, which was 11:20. It gave us a little check on our spiritual meditation tracker. Forgot what that does.
The trees.
It does.
Neither. It makes us feel better.
When you get to number 5, you get a new skill.
Are you guys going to learn one of the 5 A's? Awareness.
It's all coming back. It does feel like a great deal longer than 2 weeks.
Yeah, I know, it's ridiculous, isn't it?
Okay. Don't forget to do a giveaway.
Yes, well, in fact, you may have noticed that there are 2 giveaways running today, Pete.
What?
I didn't notice that at all, Wheels, because I don't pay attention.
Good. Tomorrow, we are announcing the winner of the Intel 3 Kingdoms PC giveaway,
just
which
hiding
is
over
pretty lit, as the kids say.
AF.
Which means that we have 2 giveaways running, because we're also giving away a deck for Keyforge and some of those beautiful metal keys as well. They're over there, look. Okay. So we had a winner on our last stream, which was actually the Keyforge stream. He got to choose the decks, but you'll be getting one of those unique decks that nobody else in the world has, which is pretty cool, as well as those metal enamel pins. To win that, we're going to be asking you a question at the end of the stream. If you get that question right and you are the first person to write it in the chat, you will be given that prize. Because if you type !win, you'll enter into the Intel prize, which, of course, is another thing you should do, but means that we can't do both on the !win.
So to answer your question, it is not too late to enter the competition for the computer.
Yeah,
by
so
typing
all you have to do
!win.
is type !win and follow us on Twitch.
Does the game come with the PC?
Yes, we had that confirmed. We had code. So
Can you imagine?
Weird that we didn't think about that, but yeah, we just assumed that people entering the
It'd be
giveaway
great.
would probably have a copy of the game, but
a 3K
not
branded computer, and it's got a copy of Rome 2 on it.
So there we go. So we're going to be playing Legacy of Dragonholt today, and we're kicking back off. We're in the Dragonholt Village book. So we just did the orchard.
Is very in the way.
The orchard was your choice, so now it's me or Pete that gets to choose.
Pete or Grace, choose a location
Grace.
on the map.
I'll let you have your choice.
I would like to visit the dragon statues.
Oh, the flirtatious dragons.
Yeah, I was tempted by Willow
unique.
Grove.
Extreme.
Willow Grove did sound tempting because trees.
What was that? Oh, nothing matter. Nothing important.
But I think the dragon statues are going to be it for me.
So 1590. And here
what
you go. Oh, it says dragon statues in brackets, so that's good.
That is good.
Sexy dragon statue.
It's not. Oh. It's not day 3, is it?
Day
No.
1.
Okay, are you ready for this?
Okay.
It's day 2, I think.
No, it's...
Is it still day 1?
How much? Yeah, we're still day
I thought
1.
the end of an encounter.
No,
It's day 1's in
it's still the
Dragonholt.
morning of day 1.
We got up early to go see the sexy trees,
Wow.
and then we
Okay.
stopped.
I hope you're ready for this.
Yep.
2 massive dragon statues tower over the western road like an archway. One statue is carved from black stone, the other from white, and they are positioned to look as if they are dueling. The statues are the closest thing Dragonholt has to a town gate. Nothing of interest is happening here right now. This encounter is complete.
More like dueling tongues, am I right, Grace?
That's my turn.
Well, good job, Grace.
Glad
Pete, where
I
would you like to
picked
go?
them.
Are you implying by sort of hesitation there that something happens if we go to the dragon statues on a different day?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
But today,
Noted. Don't want to metagame it
my
too much.
choice was nothing happened.
Which is your Tuesday should have ideally been, really. Everything is fine. Remain indoors.
Could have been worse.
Do not think about the event.
I was working from home yesterday as well, and if that had happened today, I genuinely don't know what I would have done.
Just to remind everyone of what's going on, by the way, there's a plot to kill the noble family that Grace worked out because she's a super sleuth.
Yeah.
Good job.
And then also, there's like a person we need to meet or something at the Swan or
There's
whatever.
also bandits, but we didn't want to learn any information about them at any point.
Alright, screw the bandits. No one cares about the
Yeah,
bandits.
we deeply that's right. Honestly,
run away
just
from
doesn't
them.
want to hear about bandits at any point. It's one
That's
of
your
my
background.
points. Yeah.
Okay, so
let's go to the.
Zoo.
I wish there was a zoo here in Dragonholt.
There's
Crazy
a smithy.
ex-girlfriend
Let's
reference
go
people
do
love.
crazy golf. Let's go to the Fairfax Manor.
Someone said they would pay to
Fairfax
see us
Manor,
play Monopoly 1
1400.
week. How much?
how much would you
How
pay?
much?
Because
I
I
mean,
wouldn't normally.
we
but
usually play for 2 hours. Monopoly is a several year game. 1400, you say?
depends. It just takes.
Where are we
as long
going?
as you take
Fairfax Manor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as long as you take until you flip the table, basically. Isn't
So
it?
about 4 hours. I would give myself a maximum, an upper limit. All right, Fairfax Manor.
I hope it's the same as mine.
No, the encounter is complete. The manor house is a sprawling structure of grey stone. Its facade covered with dark
You made stones.
of grey stone. Its facade covered with dark green ivy. The east wing of the manor is older than the rest, its tall and narrow windows doubling as arrow slits, and its roof marked by crenellations. That word again is crenellation.
Sorry, what does that one mean, Pete?
Crenellation is like a little like.
Ornamentation.
Yeah, no, it's like
What about
crenellation is like
helping?
like on a battlement when you see like dipping in, like where the arrow slits are, sort of like arrow slits, you know.
Oh, like a
Yeah,
like in
like a
Three
battlement
Kingdoms.
sort of thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
gonna crenellate. I'm a writer.
Legalize Aquilia.
The
says
battlement
part
is
of a castle.
Yeah, it's a battle. It's a battlement.
Yeah.
I was right. I just couldn't be. I just don't doubt yourself, Peter. You know.
Come on, man.
An arching stair leads to the main door on the
Genuinely
ground.
thought someone was staring at us. It's like
An arching stair,
Where?
like. An arching, like how we all did that. And that's gonna
I'm glad that this is going exactly how the last one went.
An arching stair leads to the main door on the ground floor.
On the ground floor.
Crenellation.
If 4 or less time
No
has
one's
passed
watching
today,
any
It
of
has.
us enjoy
Um,
ourselves. Wait, what? How much?
4 or
there?
less time has passed.
I love that
Yes.
sentence. 4 or less time. 1 time, please. Read the
A single
entry.
crumb of time.
Slice me a small slice.
Come here, have a
Just a
slice.
little.
If 4 or less time have passed today, read the entry below that corresponds to the current day. Okay, so
Day 1.
Fairfax, thank you. Fairfax Manor, day 1. You step into the grand hall of the manor, which is lit. Only
yeah,
by-
it is, baby.
I was distracted doing a step.
I lift the pause deliberately, which is lit only by the sun shining through the high windows. A human serving girl sits at a long table. It says a human serving.
A human
You just
serving.
sounded
Human
like
serving.
an actual
Yeah.
By the way,
alien.
we're peeking a lot, so you keep reading whilst I
Okay.
twiddle our
Peeking?
knobs a
Why,
bit.
what are we peeking
Beg your
at?
pardon?
We're not
Can be
playing
pardoned.
the
Peeking at
other
Fairfax
game.
Manor, Grace.
Yeah.
Catch up.
A human serving girl sits at a long table, polishing silver. If wow, I've got loads. You got you got stiff by this one, didn't you? If story point V6 is marked, but I6 is not, do this for me.
V6 is, I6 isn't.
V6 isn't.
So we're fine then.
I6 also isn't.
Okay. If neither you're not done yet.
Oh, it's neither.
No, what did neither V6
Neither,
V6. Okay, if neither story point S8 nor V6 are marked.
S8
No.
isn't.
V6 is not.
My job.
Okay. Hey, Arcade.
No,
Hey, Arcade.
that's a lot of people
Yeah.
for this stream.
Are you ready for some ASMR?
Yeah, we're playing some board games right
Ready
now.
to hear about some human serving girls?
Okay.
Some sexy
So
trees.
none of
Forgot
those
my
three
captain answer properly.
encounters are.
No.
Okay. Otherwise, the manor house is not accepting visitors at this time. The encounter is complete.
Should we do something we're supposed to do?
We were supposed to go to the manor house. Okay, my turn again. You got
No,
a long.
what? No,
Because
it
you got a
isn't.
long one.
What?
You had a whole.
That was
massive one
2
last
weeks
time.
ago.
I think it should be me and Pete until we get an actual proper encounter.
Just keep trading.
I can see why you would think that. Can I go to the apothecary shop?
No, because it'll probably end up being pages long.
Yeah.
No, it's just a shop. I want to buy some apothecaries.
You don't know what's an apothecary.
Can I go to Willow Grove?
Yes,
Okay.
that's the compromise that will
Willow
make.
Grove is.
It's more trees.
Oh, hell yeah.
17
Hell
May,
yes.
baby.
I bet this ends up being like the rest of the 2 hours now.
We were just having peaceful looking at tree time when I read mine.
Yeah, and I had a there's nothing here, and Pete had a it's closed, go home.
Got slightly more than Grace, to be fair.
The road leading south out of the village splits around a large grove of willow and oak trees. I should have called it Willow and Oak Grove then, shouldn't you? The villagers seem to treat the grove as a sort of park or meeting spot. There are almost always children playing among the trees, or families enjoying the sun and the breeze. Welcome to rhyming reading. If it is day 2 and exactly 2 time has passed today, nope. If it's day 5, nope. If it's day 6, nope. Otherwise, read entry 1370.
Well, if you got another entry, we just got okay.
If it
go
just says
home.
this encounter is complete, I would love it. 1370.
The road, if a wagon track that is simply 2 ruts running through the grass can be called that,
No, it can't.
runs south out of Dragonholt and marches past the mill, visible in the distance as a leaning stone tower. Beyond the mill, hills pile atop one another, purpling with distance as they reach towards the sky.
I don't like
What a
that.
lovely description.
I don't like that.
Purpling is a bad verb.
I
Bad
don't really,
actor.
I really don't like.
Well, this just means that you two can... or what was the rule for Dragonholt? That the same person does it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you make the choices.
So I can either head to the mine to the south or return to the village. At which point the encounter is complete.
Probably
Well,
should go to the mine.
we should
right?
do
We're not
something
doing
as
Oh,
a
it
pro.
requires that story point B1 is marked, though, which it probably isn't.
Nope.
Nope, okay. Return to the
Nope.
village.
The
Okay,
encounter
back
is
to me.
complete.
Should we go to the Swan?
No, it's my turn to choose.
Let's go to
I
the...
want to go to the
Where are we
Chatty
gonna-
Archer.
Okay.
I've got a feeling
Where are
we're going to
gonna
get
go
bounced
again?
away from all
We'll
of
end
these.
up where we're supposed to end up.
Are we gonna go to the Swan?
I'm going to the chat. We're supposed to go to the manor to try and find Regina.
Yeah, then she told us we can go away.
I'm not going to the Chatty Archer.
Does it say complete?
I don't want to. I'm going to go to the library. I like libraries. Big fan, actually. So that makes sense. Okay. Far or less time has passed today, so I am going to go to the
Hell
library.
yeah.
Are we sure you haven't wasted any time walking to places that can give us nothing?
The village library is large for a village of the size of Dragonholt.
Rude.
It features an antechamber,
I guess it's
a
pretty
main
big.
room with rows of bookshelves and a few side rooms. On most days, one of the side rooms is used as a classroom for the village youths.
Those utes.
Damned youths. What are we
Okay.
doing here?
Oh, have we
The
got one checked?
library's main hall. Nope. The library's main hall features a tall writing desk underneath a window set in the ceiling and 4 walls covered in shelves full of books. Perched atop a stool at the writing desk is a grey-robed, grey-haired human woman spattered with ink, her quill scritching as she carefully copies out another letter. If it is day 1 and story point V6 is not marked, which it is not, I've got a feeling we might be going. Maybe,
Library's closed.
maybe the library's
Moros
closed.
asks, what are we doing here exactly?
Well,
And I ask myself that
Oh my
question
gosh,
every
this one's
day.
actually going.
ooh.
Ooh. But first, explain to the good man or woman or person what we're doing here exactly.
So this is Legacy of Dragonholt, which is a choose-your-own-adventure game. So we, as a team, are going for an adventure. We've just finished the first adventure, which is to New Roads, and we're leading up to the Sliver of Silver adventure. However, we haven't got there yet because we keep walking around town asking random people
nothing to
if we can do things, and they keep telling us to go away.
Sent us a coded letter. Who our friend works for the posh family at Fairfax Manor, which is why we did want to go to Fairfax Manor. The dragon statues, I just wanted to look at them. And she sent us a letter saying there's a plot to kill the noble family. We've worked with her before in Budapest, so we decided to come and see if we could help out.
Yeah.
Fantasy Budapest.
Budapestia.
So, you ready for this? We've got a bit more.
Budapesto.
After a moment, she places her pen aside and picks up a saunder made from silver-chased horn, sprinkling a fine dust in a powdered resin to dry her ink. Then she turns to you. "Welcome to the Dragonholt Library," she says. "Can I help?" Her question trails off as she takes a look at you for the first time. She takes in your appearance and mannerisms with a critical eye for a moment before asking for your name. You tell her, and she blows out a breath she may not have realised she was holding. "Come this way." She dismounts her stool and leads you through a low door to a tall, narrow room lit only by windows far above you. "No candles or torches, please," she says. "A fire here would mean centuries of wisdom lost." She leads you around a long bookshelf, and you find that the room was not narrow at all, only blocked off by the enormous shelf. Celise is resting comfortably in a chair with a book on her lap. Does anyone remember who Celise is?
Celise.
There was the annoying halfling called
I don't think it was
something.
I don't think it was her.
And there was the posh orc lady who was...
Oh, wait.
Celise was...
Yeah, I think that's Celise.
Celise is the servant, right?
We should have taken some notes.
She's not... You know
Because
what?
Miriam is the merchant.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. And then...
Excuse me.
Who was the orc lady?
It wasn't any of the ones
Who travelled with us?
So it's a new
who
character.
travelled with us.
Then why
It might be someone that we met at the inn.
Oh,
maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Sure do wish I remembered things.
Wait, what's the name of our friend?
Miriam? Oh, our friend.
Oh,
our actual
lady.
friend.
Celise.
Oh!
Hey. Cool.
The friend that we're looking for. I found her.
I'm just imagining us walking into the library now and her being there and go, "Oh, at last," we're all going,
Who are you again?
This is me whenever I meet.
yeah.
Especially when it's someone that knows you off Twitter. And
Yeah,
like,
it's
hey,
like,
nice
"Oh,
to
we
see
met.
you," and
We
it's like,
met last week at Res." Like,
last
year, like, "Oh yeah."
Earlier today.
Yeah. An hour ago. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure her name was just orc lady.
Yeah.
Celise, says the librarian. "I brought company. Thank the spirits you are here," says Celise as we stare at her blankly.
Yeah, that's where we were
Springing
going.
to her feet and narrowly rescuing the book before it falls to the floor. "Thank you," she says to the librarian, who nods and shuffles away, leaving you alone with Celise.
Shuffles away. Not moving her feet.
"I am glad you came," says Celise.
You sound it, Celise. You sound enthralled.
"There is trouble afoot, and I am getting too old for trouble."
Getting too old for this.
She talks like me.
Yeah.
I'm not the point of wanting to do voices yet.
We'll get there, don't worry.
Celise doesn't look a day older than when you met her, but then again, she is an elf.
Whoa.
The subtext is also
I
now.
believe her that someone... I think that's a typo. But I'm going to read it as it's written. "I believe her that someone is plotting against a noble family here." We already know that. You already told me in your letter, which we were smart enough to figure out.
A wee word.
Silly. I was. You might already know that the local lord is Lady Regina. Oh, Lady Regina.
Yes, Lady Regina. This is all coming back now. It's all coming
All
back.
the important things.
So it's Yorkshire
Fairfax, Countess of Dragonholt. Elves can be from anywhere.
No, I just think in this world, all elves should have a Yorkshire accent.
Because you are doing
Yorkshire Elise as well. Oh, she's the elf. Yeah. Elves are Yorkshire here. She had up until recently 3 children, Sonia, Rochelle, and Philip. I feel like Rochelle is a very modern name, but maybe that's because one of the Saturdays is called Rochelle.
Maybe.
Regina is sick She seems... I can't be consistent
Regina
with
is
this name.
sick.
She seems a little young to me to be dying already, but humans will do that, I suppose. So her daughter Sonia was poised to inherit the county, but Sonia came to me and said she had received a letter from her uncle Kyrick. This is a lot of names for us to keep track of. Regina's... So, there's Lady Regina.
Yeah.
If you insist.
And then she has 3 children.
Oh, God. Okay, yeah.
Sonia,
Yeah.
Rochelle, and Philip.
Yeah.
Now, Sonia was supposed to inherit, but Regina's brother,
Oh my god.
Kyrick, her
Yeah.
uncle, Kyrick, Sonia's uncle, said that demanded. God, we got family tree.
Sorry, guys, just find out a family tree. Don't mind me.
So Kyrick demanded that Sonia renounce her position and support Kyrick's claim to Regina's seat, and Sonia refused him, of course. Whoa, don't.
Yeah, how many people were going to St. Ives? Like,
Days later, continues Celise, Sonia fell from her horse, struck her head. I don't know. I've got no explanation for that. Switch question. Sonia fell from her horse.
I want a big one to read, she says.
Struck her head on a rock and died. Not suspicious on its own, perhaps, but Sonia's
dead.
Yes, I just said she fell from her horse, struck her head on a rock and died.
you didn't quite say she fell from her horse.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to summarise this because I feel like it got a bit convoluted.
I want to take a
Lady
look at it.
Regina is dying. Her daughter Sonia was supposed to inherit. Kyrick asked Sonia to renounce her position and let Kyrick take over.
Right, renounce.
Sonia said no. And then days later, are you guys listening? Or is
Yeah,
we're making notes.
And then days later, mysteriously fell from her horse
Who's
and
Sonia?
died. Yeah, which is suspicious.
Okay, that's a skull, right? Got it.
Because she was an excellent rider and she was alone in the forest. So Celise got concerned that Kyrick had murdered her. She shared her suspicions with Regina's steward, and then a heavy statue toppled over and nearly killed her. So basically, Sonia was supposed to inherit. Kyrick asked her to give up her claim so he could inherit, and Sonia said no. She mysteriously died, and when Celise said that she was suspicious, someone also tried to kill her.
Right.
And
So,
we all
So
suspect
we
it may
think
be
Kyrick is murdering people to try and get to inherit the county.
does that make sense to everyone, yeah? Because we will not be going
Renounce
over it
it.
again.
Celise fled, sent the letter to
It's like
us.
Poirot.
All I can think of is the gift now of him looking really smug in the
So-
intro.
Celise fled. She'd already sent us the letter, so she hid in the village waiting. Mark story point V6.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh, that's
Oh,
what's-
that's
ooh,
what
that's
we
important to
needed.
go into
Yeah,
the
that's
place.
a big boy.
The big boy.
Celise stands, brushing down her cloak and taking a deep breath. But nothing unusual has happened since then, and Philip and Rochelle remain safe. It would seem the situation is not as dire as I had suspected. For now, I think it wise for you to acquaint yourself with the villagers and gain their trust. Probably why we couldn't get anywhere before.
So,
I told you
everywhere
it was
we
railroad,
went, they
yeah.
were like, have you read the plot yet? No, go away.
We will need them on our side if it comes to a struggle for leadership. But right now, I will go straight to Lady Regina and tell her everything. Will you come with me?
Yes.
So, do we say, of course, Celise, let's go now, or do we say, go on your own, I've got other stuff to do?
Let's just follow her along.
I
'cause
mean, clearly we don't have anything to do. 'cause
we haven't gotten to the actual content of the adventure yet, so let's just follow
Okay.
her around.
You go with Celise to Fairfax Manor, where a middle-aged human woman in servant's livery opens the door for you with an expression of surprise. I need to stop reading on while I'm trying to read, because this is why I keep running into problems. I must speak with the Countess at once, Matilda, says Celise. Matilda only nods and ushers you upstairs, where Regina's audience chamber lies in the manor's ancient round tower. The Countess's enormous black throne is empty, but the Countess is seated on a carpet by one hearth? Hearth.
It's like a fire, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like hearthstone.
Yes.
She is a human woman. They keep saying everyone's human, but we're not meeting anyone of any other species yet.
Well, at least there's an elf and there's an orc and a halfling, I guess.
Helga's bending
Everyone's
the
a
pages of the book.
jerk.
They bend themselves. It's
Yeah, it's a heavy book, to be fair.
Yeah.
doing it itself.
a well used
She's
book
a
shows love.
human woman of middling years with fair skin and enormous green eyes, almost luminescent in a face more lined by pain than by age. The Countess has a round hoop in her lap.
Round hoop.
A piece of intricate needlework. My lady, says Celine.
Tipping her fedora.
Silly, says Regina. I wondered if you would quit my service. Passive aggressive. Please, introduce us. Silly bows and introduces you. Regina inclines her head but makes no effort to rise. What brings you to me today, my friend? With many pauses to word her story as diplomatically as possible, Silly shares the same suspicions with Regina that she had shared with you. As she speaks, a rail-thin man in a ruffled tunic slips into the room to stand silently at Regina's side. Yes, says Regina at length. Timothy told me much of this. No, Timothy is Regina's
No, I
steward.
reckon Kyrick slipped in.
No, that was Timothy.
No, it's Timothy.
Oh.
Timothy told me much of this the day you disappeared, was it, Timothy? She offers one hand to the man in the ruffled shirt, who helps her to her feet with perfect form. You're going to confuse yourself more with all of
I'm
this.
just gonna.
Yes, my lady. I was not sure what to make of Miss Silly's suspicions, but I reported them dutifully. Regina crosses to her throne and sits with a sigh. She gestures to Timothy and points to a writing desk against the wall. Timothy, the book in the drawer, there. He goes and fetches a slim leather-bound volume. This is Sonia's journal. I have not read it. There are things that a mother should not know about her daughter, I think. But you must do, my friends. I do not want to believe that my brother would stoop to so reprehensible a crime as kinslaying, but I will not risk my children on my hope that Kyrick is still the honourable man who stood aside for me when our father named me heir over him. She presses the book into your hand. You gain Sonia's journal, marked story point P8.
All right.
So, please, read it. Perhaps it contains some clue as to Sonia's fate, and perhaps you might prevent Rochelle and Philip from falling prey to a similar doom. She waves a hand, and Timothy rushes forward to shepherd you from the room. Her ladyship tires easily these days, he says. Thank you, we will speak again. Celeste frowns as she walks you to the door. So Timothy isn't the traitor after all, or perhaps he's covering, or perhaps there is no traitor, just rotten luck. She shakes her head and opens the door. Read that book and make it a point to get to know the locals. I will call upon you again when you are needed. 2 time passes, this encounter is complete.
Ooh.
You know how much it's killing me not to be reading that journal right now.
The afternoon.
Someone else's turn.
Do you want to read the journal in the background whilst we carry on with the adventure?
No, I do.
I can do the next bit and then
Thank
you can.
Yeah,
read
it's
the
your
journal.
turn anyway.
Yeah. Time to go somewhere where they won't let me in.
Well, there should be a few people that.
Should go to the Fairfax Manor now.
Well, we just came from there, didn't we?
Someone said the way I pronounce milady means there's a reason Northerners don't meet royalty.
Boy,
Milady.
Milady. Just, you know, I'm a wildling, we don't bend the knee.
King in the woods. Right.
Can I have my notebook back? It's not my notebook, I just
where do you
wrote
wanna
in
go?
there.
You just been to Fairfax Manor.
You can
For
probably
fuck's sake.
you can probably go anywhere now that we've unlocked.
Are there 3 pubs in this place?
There's
Yeah.
a Chatty Archer, the
You ever been to
Swan, and the
Horsham?
Drunken Hog.
Very true. Let's get gameplay so everyone can see what we're looking. Where did chat think we should go as well? I think I don't know. Maybe the shrine.
Do you want to hear some things from the journal? Do you want to hear
Some salacious
the New
deets.
Year's resolution?
Yeah.
Let Rochelle take a knighthood,
Mm-hmm.
get a new mill,
Mm-hmm.
settle the Long Creek dispute with the Belmonts. That's
Belmonts from Castlevania.
That's what's the word? Suspicious person.
Point of interest. Person of interest.
Point of person.
Suspect.
Suspect.
The Belmonts.
That is a word. Yes.
She
Remember
wants
that
to
last time
breed
Cora
apple
did that.
dash. Also, I know there's cat folk in the forest. I'm going to find them. Read at least 13 new books, not many in a year.
Brothers.
Okay. Find a cure for mother's illness. I'm going to write this down.
Brothers
Okay.
from another
You pick brothers from another litter. Yes.
I was
Very
going
good.
to
Can we-
no, that wasn't the joke.
Oh, okay.
Brothers from another meow.
Much worse. Right. Pick a thing.
Bakery.
Bakery. It is 680. Or 6,800.
6,800 is what it
6,800.
6800. Numbers.
Dispute with the Belmonts.
6,800. Bakery. The bakery has a warm and cozy storefront featuring
Good.
a counter with various baked goods on display, which you would expect from a bakery, and a few tables and chairs for customers to enjoy their passageries. If 5, how much time has passed?
3.
If 5
A whole 3.
If 5 or less time has passed today, read the entry below. Bakery, day 1. You step into the bakery and are greeted by the warm smell of baking bread and the chiming of a silver bell on the door. I'll be right with you, calls a voice with a thick Dunwar accent.
That's crazy, because everyone here was Yorkshire until now.
It's a multicultural town.
Yeah, it's a crossroads.
It's just humans.
I don't know what a Dunwar accent is,
And
by the way.
sillies.
And sillies.
Yeah, it says in a thick Dunwar accent, and I don't know what a thick Dunwar accent is, but now...
Dunwar isn't that an elf? Dunwar. You're a Dunwar elf, aren't you?
But he said, I'll be right.
Dawnsmore.
He said, I'll be right with you, so I'm going to stick with what I did.
I'll be right with you.
I'll be right. It's not from New York. I'm not doing that again.
I'm baking here.
Hey, you want a bagel?
Can I just
Bagel
say,
and a cup of coffee.
Sonia encounters a catfolk woman, and she doesn't want to scare them away, so I didn't chase her for long.
Through a ball of
Didn't want to
string.
scare them away entirely, so I only chased them for a little while.
I just left them with an arrow in their back.
If this is your first time visiting this location while it is open, read entry 3460. 3460, 3460, 3460. Good lord, 3460, 3460.
I think it's all right.
Ooh. A muscular dwarf man comes bustling through a door in the back wall, carrying a wooden tray piled high with steaming passaries. The man has golden brown skin and chestnut hair.
Oh.
His beard is tied in many braids.
Many braids. Guys, forget about trees. It's all about sexy dwarves for this episode.
I'm like my kin. I'm like with many braids, currently all bound together by a length of twine. He brushes flour off his hands and off the sturdy, practical apron he wears. Hello, he says. Me name is Grisbeck Hearthstone. Hearthstone? Oh, someone's getting sued. And this here be the Hearthstone Bakery. Why is he a pirate? Welcome.
He's Beast from Div 2.
Yeah. Grisbeck slides the pastries off his tray. Nothing funny about that sentence. Placing each one carefully on a shelf beneath the counter as he does. Whilst he works, he continues to chat. I don't think I've seen you about before. New in town, are you? You confirm that you are and introduce yourself, and he bobs his head. Bob your head, everybody.
Yeah.
Well, pleased to meet you. Ain't that fine? Good lord. Ah! Calls a small voice. The door! I like this dynamic. Grisbeck smiles and lays one finger alongside his nose. Just a moment. He turns and opens the door in the back wall.
This turned into Coronation Street.
when she read out that family tree, when Grace read out that family tree, it became.
Well,
okay.
Sonia wanted to be heir.
Grisbeck smiles and lays one finger along his nose. Just a moment. He turns and opens the door in the back wall, admitting a young dwarf girl carrying a broad basket. Her hair is copper.
Damn. She got that basket that just don't quit.
A broad basket. Her hair is copper as compared... made of copper. Her hair is copper as compared to his... Do not set it on fire. As compared to his warm brown, but the same golden brown skin. This is me daughter, Penny. He explains.
The copper hair, yeah, get it, yeah.
He explains.
Will we get through one story?
Mark story point N2.
Oh. I'm also making important notes here.
Pleased to meet you, the girl says as she stacks loaves of bread from within her basket on the counter above her
I'll be honest, when I heard small voice, I immediately went goblin.
Yeah, my work is it's transferable. The girl says as she stacks loaves of bread from within her basket on the counter above her head. If story point H8 is marked,
It is not.
Otherwise 8125. Okay.
Oh my word.
What a turn. Penny, says Grisbeck, you've done plenty to help your dar out today. You should run and play with your friends now.
Sounds a bit more Northern Irish from the text.
Mm.
You've done plenty to help out your dar
All right,
today.
I can change it to legitimate political organization. Go with that one.
Oh, da!
says the girl.
I told ye! What do you have got for friends when I've got the best ass over the Dunwar Mountains?
What? What did you just say?
What use has she got with friends when she has the best father south of the Dunwar Mountains? She smiles, but it seems a fragile sort of thing, and then she settles down under the windows with a knit owl whose head is attached only by a thread. I guess I'll go in Northern Irish now. Penny, says Grisbeck. What happened to Thane Owl?
Those boys tore him again, says Penny.
Patting the owl mournfully.
That's you.
Oh, that ain't right, sighs the baker. He tugs at his beard and clicks his tongue. They ought to know better than I. There's so many apostrophes in this bit. They ought to know better than to do such a thing. He frowns, then shakes his head and turns his attention to you. What can I do for you?
Who's this?
This is the baker boy.
Oh, okay.
The baker man.
None of my notes were on baker.
Get something to eat. Requires you each spend 5 gold. Offer to repair the doll. Requires craftsmanship, a skill.
I've got that.
Give Penny.
It's not one of the 5 A's, but I've got it.
Give Penny a gift, which requires a cloth doll. An item.
Nope.
I'll leave the bakery, which ends the thing.
Should I repair it?
We can ask chat from either buying food or offering to repair the doll. You can't choose the other two because I don't want the encounter to end just yet.
I think we've all got full health, so why don't we just repair the doll?
Repair the doll?
Yeah.
Repair the doll. Okay. 3 2 3 3.
Oh, double 3, triple 3.
3 2 3 3 3 3.
32,233.
3 2 3 3 was that?
Yeah.
Oh, I've got so many notes.
This is an in-depth journal. Are these all important notes as well?
I will read. I'll tell you guys after.
Yeah, give us the long and short.
And if any of these characters come up, I can tell you what Sonia thinks.
Sure. You take the doll from Penny and crouch down with your needle and thread. It's the work of a few moments to reattach the owl's head, and Penny is delighted with your efforts, clapping her hands together in joy.
Oh, Thane Owl, you're all better.
What? Have we gone to Liverpool now?
Oh, they're not that far off.
No, oh, Thane Owl, you're all better. Oh, thank you, thank you. The girl hugs you, then takes her owl and races over to her father, shouting, "Da! Da!" Grisbeck scoops her up into his arms, laughing and smiling. He presses his forehead against hers. I was doing the accent before I got to the end of the sentence. He presses his forehead against hers. Well, that's a fine thing, isn't it just? He laughs.
DKG saying just offer a clay dog. I'll do it.
Satisfaction. Da! We have to do something nice for him, says Penny. That we do, me lass. Grisbeck plops her down.
Shouldn't have agreed to this.
Nope. This is going on.
I might write these up and print them off so I can like.
Oh, I made that choice, didn't I? So I'm going to turn my thing over.
Oh, that doesn't happen in Dragonholt. It's fine.
Cool. Grisbeck plops her down on the ground and places one finger alongside his nose. Just you wait now. I'll fix you something special. Soon enough, you are seated beneath the windows with a bowl, I can only assume that means bowl, a bowl filled with piping hot stew in front of you. Made with Dunwar ale, of course. What have I just gone with that accent?
Just end this encounter, please.
It's legitimate, political. Just you wait now. Made with Dunwar ale, of course, grins Grisbeck. You each recover 2 stamina. I'm at max stamina.
Yeah, me too.
Mark
Q5.
story point Q5 and pass me a time.
Yeah. Ooh, we're in the evening now.
Just one?
Yeah. Yeah. The stew and the bread is delicious and filling. The bread is dark.
You okay, pal?
Just bracing for what's to come.
Oh, no. Did you just lose the page?
No, I've got it.
Okay. Come on, Pete. We've got a lot of words to get through here.
Okay.
Need I remind you, it is already 4:45.
The
5,
stew
sorry.
and bread is delicious and filling. The bread is dark and nutty. Perfect.
Oh dear.
I wouldn't have laughed at that if you hadn't have built it up so
Well,
much.
that's good. A perfect complement to the rich, warm stew. Grisbeck stands and places a delicate pastry filled with red berries in front of you. Dessert, he grins. A traditional recipe I brought down from the Dunwar Mountains with me. Although it were cloudberries then, not strawberries. I like it. Nope, that's you. That's you right there.
I like it.
Says Penny. That was
It reminds me of home.
That was delightful. This is home now, my lass, says Grisbeck warmly. Jesus, it's still going, isn't it? Tell me about the Dunwall Mountains. I have a gift for you, Penny, or thank you for the meal.
Thanks, bye. We should crack on.
Yeah.
We should crack on.
Oh, we need to go.
Oh, that was real nice.
Okay. Thank you for the meal. I don't even know what my guy sounds like. I imagine now also Northern Irish.
Thank you for the meal.
Thank you for the meal. This encounter is complete.
Right. I'm going to...
Oh, golly.
I'll catch you up in a minute. I'm almost
Should we go to Village Hall? Let's go to Village Hall. See what's going on in the Village Hall.
Calvin did it.
Grace has already figured it all out, so it's fine. The Village Hall is easily the largest building in the town. A tall edifice of pale grey stone.
Stuff to tell you guys.
Just happened to you?
A tall edifice of pale grey stone with peaked windows of glass at regular intervals. The main entrance is a pair of heavy oak doors, standing at the top of a short but broad stone stair and flanked by a pair of columns. If 5 or less time has passed, which it has, read the entry below that corresponds to the current day. Village Hall, Day 1. A young woman with her hair in dozens of braids ponders the message board.
It's been done.
She appears to be sounding out the words of the various missives posted there under her breath, reading slowly and with difficulty. The message board announces that the next market day is in 2 days, and that there will be a village bonfire the same night. There's also a posting offering a shop for sale. Slightly damaged. The price is quite modest, considering the size of the building and its location. You notice a weathered page that states a reward for a passing hero who can help with a goblin infestation.
Really? How convenient.
The hero is to report to Fior Brightmall at the smithy.
What the hell is that?
Fior Brightmall.
Oh.
If this is your first time visiting this location while it is open, read entry 3367.
Okay.
Tell me when you're on the lowdown on this situation.
Give me the dish, the XOXO Gossip Girl.
Yeah.
Okay, Seb, before
you guys should probably be aware of some
before
of
we go
this.
ahead, what is this game? This game is Legacy of Dragonholt. It's like a quasi RPG.
Choose your own adventure team game, the RPG thing, and it's real good.
Buy a copy and play it. No, it's yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's like a RPG light.
Yes.
Like a choose your own adventure meets an RPG. It's a lot of fun. If you like listening to us read out loud.
It's good material to have in the background. So if you're playing a game or something, why don't you keep us on in the background? Also, we're doing a giveaway at the end of the stream, and Grace has got some big info that she's desperate to dump. So
Gossip Girl over here really wants to tell us stuff.
Let me just whiz past this village hall quickly. The town clerk coughs politely to catch your attention.
Oh, is his name? Hang on.
Hello, my name is Marquis.
Yes, I know him. I've got some info on him.
Why is his name Marquis? Marcus? Marquis?
Marcus.
I'm calling him Marquis.
Does it spell like in the
See,
game?
he's in the notes.
I serve as the clerk for all village business. He smiles an anemic little smile and tugs on his brown...
smile.
Memeing
hard.
tugs on his brown tunic.
You just came into town with that orc woman, no?
I reckon that's
That's what it sounds like. Yeah, like the guy from Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit.
Is story point F7 marked?
No.
Read entry 5729. Whilst I'm getting that, tell us about Marquis.
Okay, so Marcus specifically, the village clerk, Sonia wanted to build a new mill, and he wanted it to be on his brother's farm, which means Regina would have to pay a pretty penny to buy that land back. But Galvin is the one that we need to worry about.
I am way more interested in the comings and goings of these sons of guns than I am with clearing orcs out of the mountains.
You confirm that, yes, you've just come into town.
Good, yes, glad to hear it. How was your journey? Uneventful, I trust?
You mentioned the bandits
Odd
on
comment.
the road, and the clerk sighs. No, I would not mention the bandits.
Blast those bandits.
We did, with the Persian.
Hell yeah, we did.
Heck yeah.
I hope her ladyship does something about them, and soon.
You also mentioned the fallen trees blocking the road.
That sounds more like
his head.
Sounds
my!
much
Oh,
more
yes?
like us.
Well, we cannot have that. That road is our main source of trade with the outside world. He shuffles into a side office. Nobody walks here. Piled high with ledgers and pamphlets and historical records, and flips through stacks of official-looking papers.
Kind of rude while we're in the middle of
Like this.
conversation.
Yeah. Eventually, he finds one he likes and scribbles out a missive, then marks it with a heavy pewter seal.
That will do.
He says, tucking the document away.
We must clear that road as soon as we can.
The encounter is complete. All right,
Okay.
what's going on, Grace?
So,
Dish that goss.
the important thing is, Regina has a mysterious illness that can't be cured.
Cool.
Sonia's asked a bunch of people, including a healer, and no one can heal her, and Regina has made her peace with it.
It seems she's lost the will.
Also interesting, Timothy harassing her to get married and produce an heir,
Producing
to the point where she's like, maybe he's interested.
Ew.
Also, Count Cunningham wants Sonia to marry his son. And most interestingly, two things. One, a strange man with a scar stopped Sonia on the street to ask her what her name was and was very thrown by the response. And two, so there's a guy called... this is the big one. Here's the tea. Galvin, I think he's like the stable boy or something. It's not explained.
Oh,
but
yeah,
he's
here
the
we go.
one that thinks she should give Apple Dash to the Cunninghams for breeding.
The horse.
Yes, yes.
You
Apple
would
Dash
not
is the
call a
horse.
person Apple
So-
Dash.
It's My
When-
Little Pony now.
Yeah,
When-
Apple Dash.
When Kyrick sends her this letter, Sonia's a bit thrown by it. And
Who,
she's
sorry?
Like, Kyrick.
Pirate.
He sends her the letter
Bad,
saying, I should
suspicious
rule.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Regina is only his half-sister. She's bastard born, right?
Can't say that on this stream.
That's what
Can
it
because
said
it's in the
book.
proper context. And somebody asked you to say that word earlier in chat,
Yes,
so there you
I
go.
was very pleased when it came up.
That's the joke.
So Sonia was really thrown off by this. Are you paying attention or are you looking at that?
I was looking at the balls, but yeah.
So, and she went around asking a bunch of people, like, who should rule? Should it be her? Should it be democratic? Should it be Rochelle or Philip? Rochelle wants to be a knight, and Philip, I think he's into dwarf girls. That's the only thing I have on him. But then when she asked Galvin, Galvin said that he thought that Kyrick should rule because Kyrick's father was one of Galvin's friends. And then, usually, Galvin always says everyone should saddle their own horse. But when Sonia went out for her last ride, Galvin insisted that he should be the one to saddle her horse.
Bum bum bum.
So he's a person of interest.
Or a suspect.
Yeah.
If you-
Basically, Galvin is involved, but it still sounds like Kyrick is involved. Timothy has got a weird preoccupation with her getting married. And there's a strange man with a scar hanging about, and Regina is under 50 and she's still dying.
Right.
There's also some other stuff that might come up.
But we-
Oh, also at one point
as
her
long as
guard,
you know it.
yeah, at one point her guard was like hitting on her. She was like, I'm really uncomfortable because he keeps telling me about his imaginary accomplishments, and I kind of just want a guard, not someone doing this. Also, she implies that she's into women.
Well,
We've got some women on this party.
this
Which
close-minded...
I mean, one. Right. So now where are we going? I'm interested in Brightmall. I don't know where she is, though.
I want to go back to the Chatty Archer and see if it's open now.
6,500.
6500.
If it's not, then I don't
Going
remember
here,
what the
guys.
requirements
Gonna
were.
go meet the Chatty Archer.
Hang on.
What a ASMR noise that is.
4 more time has passed now? Yes, it has.
Gonna look at
Okay.
these papers
Oh,
some
I don't
more.
think... Did I go here last time?
We're visiting the Chatty Archer.
I did, but I didn't. Right. An
Welcome to
archery...
Chatty Archer.
An
You can go.
archery butt lies under a maple tree. Honestly, didn't think I'd get away with that
Oh,
one.
but.
An archery butt
What is that?
lies under a maple tree outside this rustic lodge-style tavern. Several arrows are
Oh, you
stuck...
thought you didn't get away with that when we were laughing?
Yeah, 'cause it says butt. Several arrows are stuck within it, and others stand point down in the earth by the tavern's polished pinewood door. They always want to make sure you know exactly what kind of wooden
Oh, I
tree.
need to know exactly what kind of wood's going on.
And the state of its varnish. Yeah.
A strung bow hangs over the door, nestled under the awning to protect it from the elements. 4 more time has now passed today. You open the door and step into a warmly lit hall containing a smattering of oak tables and chairs.
How well varnished are they?
I don't know, but there's a smattering of them.
A long counter stretches the length of the left wall, bar stools in a row on one side, and a
Can't swear.
shelf holding bottles of varying shapes, sizes, and colours on the other. This is our first time visiting this location while it is open.
Yeah. Visited it loads while it was closed.
A tall human man with broad shoulders stands behind the counter polishing a mug. Do people just sit around and polish?
Yeah,
I'll say they do.
Yes.
I am
so
12.
true.
What is this?
So true to life.
I never learned how to read. His sleeves are rolled up, revealing muscular arms. He
From
looks
all
up
that polishing, I assume.
Using both hands.
He looks up at the door as you enter and gives you a toothy grin and a friendly nod. You new to Dragonholt? Asks the man behind the counter. I don't reckon I've seen you before. He gives his mug up one server and sets it on a lower shelf with others like it. Then he slings the drying cloth over his shoulder and steps toward you. The name's Hunter. I'm the owner of this here Drunken Hog.
Your name is Hunter.
Also, Sonia actually wrote down. Where's the journal gone? I have it.
I'm sorry, that
she
toothy
commented
grin and nodding
that
kills me.
when Sonia got drunk in this tavern, she wrote down. Where is it?
Oh, the Chatty Archer is a tavern.
She wrote.
Yeah. Why
I'm
would
a
it else be
little
called Johnny
drunk.
Archer?
I thought it was just a guy who was chatty.
So
there's 4 pubs in this place. And only one apothecary shop.
Sonia said when she was there, Hunter is very handsome, so's his wife.
Ooh.
So, this toothy, muscular, broad human man is
Yeah.
here. You introduce yourself and glance around the room before taking a seat. There are patrons at several of the tables, men and women enjoying food, drink, and banter.
Just like this table, am I right?
Still thinking about that toothy grin and nod.
Wait, others are sitting at the bar.
She's seen it. She's seen something ahead. Danger ahead.
Innuendo alert.
Others are sitting at the bar engaged in conversation with a human woman behind the counter. Beside you sits an elderly human man whittling a small wooden sword.
I need an adult.
Beside you sits an elderly human man whittling a small wooden duck. You look like the adventurous type. Me and my wife. Lay?
You look like the adventurous type. Have you met my wife?
Lay. Yeah.
Me and my wife Lay used to do some adventuring before settling down and opening this place. Hunter gestures to the woman behind the counter. She smiles and waves. Sorry, I saw something ahead.
I genuinely need a moment.
I need to cover it up so I can only see a line at a time.
That out of context was so
Lay can
good.
fix you up something to eat if you're peckish. Just shout at us if you need anything at all. Oh ho, adventuring, eh? Exclaims the older man sitting beside you. I had myself many an adventure in my day.
I'm something of a scientist myself.
I spent much of my youth making day trips to Eventide Forest. Though back then it wasn't as dangerous as it is now. The old man blows on his whittled duck, removing excess wood shavings.
Oh my god!
I love this man and his whittled duck.
God.
It's V6 marked now, I think it is.
Thank you,
Yes,
Fantasy
V6
Flight.
is marked. 662.
I need to blow those.
Is that right? Asks Hunter. Tell us about it, Theo. The tavern... I can't remember whose voice this is. The tavern owner sets a small bowl of nuts in front of you as the older man begins to tell a story about climbing trees.
Yeah, War Dog. Yeah, War Dog. She's really keeping her stuff together, isn't she?
As the older man begins to tell a story about climbing trees in the forest, you can immediately tell the story will last some time. Hunter leans over the counter to whisper to you. Don't mind old Theodore. He just likes to tell his stories to anyone who'll listen. Can't tell if he forgets he's already told the stories, if he just likes telling them again. Do you want to listen to Theodore's story about climbing trees?
No.
Do you want to order something to eat, which requires you each spend 5 gold, or leave
No.
the chatty archer? I want to hear the story.
Do we have any? Oh, do we have any gold, by the way?
We've got full health. Why would we need food?
Oh yeah, I have 100.
Yeah, we got 100 gold as a party.
Oh, that's right. I remember now. Yeah.
Yes.
Snap.
Hang on. 3, 2, 3, 1.
Did you like boys movies? Did you boys like movies like Gladiators?
Hope
Have
you're
you
ready
been in
for
a
the-
Turkish prison? Yeah.
Hope you're ready for this story.
Oh god, it's so long. I can see it from here.
No, you can't.
Yeah. Empty.
Theodore goes off on a long and winding story about his youth, playing in the village and on the edge of Eventide Forest. The mill pond there, where the river flows out of the forest, was where we used to spend most of our time. We would catch frogs and then hide them where the girls would find them, just to watch them shriek. Theodore burst out laughing, shaking his head. There's one girl, though, Ursula, she never let our pranks frighten her. She gave as good as she got. Oh, I love
Ursula.
I
Is she
love
in the
that
book?
girl. Yes,
She's
actually.
Salisa's sister.
Ursula and Sapphire are business rivals, so they own local
Who's rivals,
businesses. Sonia, but they weren't actually rivals. Like they would play cards together and
Oh,
have
I
a
see.
time. But technically, they were
I
rivals.
thought it was Salisa's sister, and then I remember that Ursula is Phoebe's
Salise-
sister in Friends.
Celeste doesn't have a sister, Regina.
I was just thinking
Sorry.
about Friends.
I love that girl, but I never could tell her that. I used to write her letters and love poetry, but I could never give them to her. I took them to the Tree of Tales instead, out in the forest, and asked the spirits to bring us together. One time, I gave her a little wooden badger that I'd carved. Told her that it reminded me of her, because she was fierce too.
I'm
I
afraid she
don't
may
think
be
she
dead.
liked that. Let that be a lesson to you. If you're going to compare a girl to an animal, choose something more majestic than a badger. But that was the closest I ever got to telling her how I felt. Theodore sighs. That reminds me of a story. Do we continue listening to Theodore? Do we show him the wooden
and
trinket?
Ursula. It's got a T and a U
Oh
on
yeah,
it.
do we show him the wooden trinket or do we leave?
Show him that damn wooden trinket,
Show him
baby.
the trinket. Whip that trinket up.
I thought it was a bear.
It's a badger.
Oh my gosh, you can carry on listening to his story forever.
Well, luckily for you, we have a finite amount of time.
It loops around. It loops around.
Great Mango says,
Um,
I'm down to learn everything Teddy has to
Yeah,
offer."
frankly, everyone else is talking about actors than people they miss. I too miss Anthony Bourdain, for the record.
To be fair, he is the art director on Total of the Kingdom, so it's fine.
Anthony Bourdain.
Is that who we're talking about?
No.
I'm confused now.
Okay. When you show Theodore the trinket you found in Eventide Forest, his story trails off and dies in his throat. My word, he says, taking it from you with trembling hands. He peers down at the wooden badger, seeming to see it more with his fingers than with his watery eyes.
Ooh.
This is the very one. I gave this to Ursula when we were both so very young. A smile spreads slowly across his face, crinkling his wrinkles like a withered apple. They're putting some tongue twisters in here now. It didn't have these letters carved into it then, though. T and U, Theodore and Ursula. You found this at the Tree of Tales? Hand trembling, he reaches inside his sawdust-covered woolen coat and withdraws a letter, stiff and dry and crinkling with age, and sealed with a dollop of red wax. I think the spirit of the Tree of Tales is telling me that it's finally time. Why else would you bring this talisman into my hands? She must have carved in our initials and placed it there herself. It's really hard to do that voice.
Yeah.
He looks
You
down.
chose it. Yeah.
Oh, this story is really crinkling my wrinkles.
Theodore chose it. I'm
It's
just
books. I'm
cannot.
but a vessel. Yeah.
He lives vicariously through me.
He looks down at the letter, smoothing it on the countertop in front of him. Oh, but I still can't bear to face her. I feel like such a fool letting it go so long. He holds out the letter, his voice wavering. Do you think you might deliver this to her for me? She shouldn't be hard to find. She's run the Countess in since her husband died. You lose a wooden trinket item. I kind of
It's
wish
literally just
To
the
be
you
fair,
old
like-
fool.
you should give me the duck to replace this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gain a love letter, item C.
Ooh.
Do you want to mark story point 03?
Wow, these are all shuffles.
This mark 1 progress in heroism.
Ding! Love letter. You received this sealed letter from Theodore. He asked you to deliver it to Ursula. I'm just showing the
Oh, sorry. The
chat.
baby joke chat.
Time passes. This encounter is complete.
Nice.
Well, that was hilarious.
Do we want to follow that up?
Oh, that was deeply hilarious.
That was a lot.
I mean, we're not. This is. They say this is like
the
50 to
wrinkle
80
crinkler
minutes.
also
so
the duck whittler? Yes.
Mm.
Yeah, the wrinkle crinkler is
Yeah.
a duck whittler.
The winkle. the wrinkle crinkle duck whittler is Theodore.
The wrinkly crinkle duck.
Donk.
Donk.
New Donk City.
Yeah, this is like an hour to an hour and a half long, so we should just get that out next time, and then just go and do countless things around Duns.
It's just the Dragonholt village episode,
Yeah.
everybody.
It
So
seems
let's
to be
just do everything. Should we go to the Countess Inn? Why the hell not? It's 4:20 maybe.
Is it?
It's
No,
4:20 0.
420 was 43 minutes ago.
It's never too late in my eyes.
Someone
Right.
on Reddit just said, props for handling this and the stream at the same time. Yes, because of the timing, I am having to check our social media in my downtime.
It's fine. The Countess Inn. A painted sign showing a woman's profile with a silver coronet adorns this 2-story building. The ground floor is of pale red stone, while the upper story is a sprawling half-timber affair. Cool. Hanging over the
What
entrance.
kind of timber?
How
know,
well
right?
varnished
Pine
is it? Yeah.
Hanging over the entrance and supported by thick wooden posts. Flower boxes filled with colourful flowers are arranged between the support beams. If this is your first time visiting this location, read entry 8742.
Is it?
What?
Yeah,
Well,
don't we
Notorious
do that?
BLK, welcome to the joke.
What?
He says, one of those terms has to refer to a penis, right? Surely, I was like, no. This is a This is an
It's a family
age-gated
baby.
stream.
It's a
Yeah.
family stream.
Some of the merchants.
I would browse the wooden
Whittle
poles.
ducks.
The Countess Inn's common room is hung with old faded banners, most showing some variant of a black and white dragon crest. The coat of arms of the various rulers of Dragonholt going back generations. The far wall is painted with an expansive mural showing a large tree that you take to be the great oak at the heart of Eventide Forest.
Sexy tree?
Probably, yeah.
Probably quite sexy.
It's a great oak.
Ooh.
Its bowls
just an oak.
enfolding the figure
It's
of a green-eyed
great
woman
oak.
wearing a silver coronet, presumably Countess Regina.
Ooh.
Um,
Well, we've
Regina,
met her,
sorry.
so.
Thank you.
The patrons in the common room are a collection of men and women of various races, all in their middle or later years, well-to-do judging from their clothing. They talk quietly in small groups or sit reading, or napping, by one of the two halves on either side of the room.
Very into halves.
Yeah.
today,
That's
aren't
half, not half. It's not the two halves.
Half.
we?
Yeah.
Half, not Wingardium Leviosa.
Uh,
I pulled that off.
You
Still
find
wrong.
yourself matching their demeanour, walking more carefully, lowering your voice, almost without meaning to. Hell no, I
know what I
don't.
do.
Yeah. Greetings!
Anyone want some potions?
Anyone heard about some bandits?
Yeah.
An elderly human woman in a green dress sits at a table directly beneath the painted tree, waves you over as soon as she catches your eye. "Welcome to the Countess Inn," she says in a hushed tone. "You must be new
That
in the
was not
village."
very. Welcome to the Countess.
Welcome to the Countess
out of the goblet of fire?
He asked calmly.
I'm Ursula. If there's anything you need, don't
You've heard about her
hesitate to
twice
ask me
We're
or
here to
my
give it-
daughter. She motions towards a slender,
Is that
almost
Sapphire?
ethereal woman in her middle years, carrying a tray through the common room. Pretty young thing, isn't she? The only one of my children left.
Is her name Sapphire though?
The others have all moved away. If story point 03 is marked,
Yes,
it absolutely
is.
is, yeah.
read entry
yeah.
7276.
7276.
That's what they call
Do
me.
I hear a 7276? Your
Go
card is
once.
being turned. You retrieve your tools from a secret pocket and set to work. That's the wrong entry. That's row 67, not 76.
What are you doing to her? She's just like, "Hey, nice to meet you." And
Hi.
I was like,
Yeah. You offer the sealed envelope to Ursula, and she begins to smile as soon as she sees the handwriting on the outside. "Oh, lady's grace," she breathes.
"What?
"Theo, you
What did she say about
damn
me?"
fool."
Oh,
Took
ladies,
you
grace.
long enough. You lose the love letter item. Well, that was quick.
Yeah.
She breaks the seal and spreads the letter on the table before her.
Why would you say it like that?
Read literally everything like that.
Spreads.
"Candle, girl, candle," she says, and her
What?
willowy daughter
Candle girl,
brings a
candle.
candle in a silver
Oh.
holder.
That's what I thought she said, to be fair.
I thought you were referring to her by a title, like, she is the candle girl.
Candle girl. I mean, daughter.
I thought she was saying Candle Girl.
Beauty and the Beast kind of.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Placing it on the table to cast its light on the letter. Ursula reads carefully, tears beading in the corners of her eyes. Then she stands, presses the letter to her heart, and closes her eyes.
And dies.
I can't read. "I have something for you," she says, and steps through a door almost invisible under the mural's
Better be
paint.
one of these.
If she makes
'cause
us
I
go
picked
back
him up.
to crazy duck whittler guy, I'll be
Please
livid.
give us a duck.
A moment later, stop looking at them all. Stop it. Put them down, Grace. Down. Put the
Bad.
cards
Yeah.
down. Bad, Grace. A moment later, she returns holding a time-worn cloth doll that she cradles with obvious affection. Oh, we did it in the wrong order.
You just go back.
Yeah. My mother made this doll for me when we first came to Dragonholt. I have no friends, then you see.
Still done.
So she told me the doll would keep me
So I've
from...
got the doll.
So she told me the doll would keep me from being lonely. And it has for
Yeah.
all these long years.
Oh, she's insane.
Oh, she's mad, yeah.
He's my best friend and my daughter.
Isn't it dull? Isn't
Candle
it
girl.
dull? Yeah.
You look around, some cloth dolls,
Yeah.
guys gleaming in the
Like
shadow.
Coraline all of a sudden.
Thinking of like it, where there's just clowns
Oh,
all
yeah,
over in
yeah.
the house.
She reaches
I
out
didn't
and
like
places
that
the
scene.
doll in your hands. Its colours are fading,
That's for it.
but its stitches still hold true. Something about its crooked face seems
Hey, stop it.
welcoming.
I want
Stop
to
it.
find the doll.
Stop
I
it.
want the doll.
It's K8. Oh no, item R.
I got it. It looks terrifying.
Let's see.
Put top camera.
Ugh.
Absolutely not.
No, God. I don't need this anymore. I won't be lonely. I want you to have it. Maybe you could find some other poor lonely child in need. As you seem to be going
child
about
takes
doing
curse.
good things. You gained the cloth doll. Item R. Mark point story K8.
Mark point story.
Hold the
K.
door watch.
Mark 1 progress and heroism. We are heroic.
Yeah,
Heroism.
we're doing best in heroism.
Oh, it's 2.
Well, yeah, but we've got none
So-
or one in everything else. What?
When 8 progress has been marked. Okay, never mind.
You don't get anything from this.
Yeah, I want it now. She sighs and settles down again in her seat. I shall have to think about how to respond to Theo. Might be fitting to let him stew a week or two. Oh, you
I don't like her
horrible lady.
anymore.
I was going to say the B word. But in the meantime, was there anything
But-
I could do? You can either get something to eat and spend 5 gold. Everyone's very intended on feeding us, sorry.
That's all they do is drink and.
Or we can
whittle
leave.
ducks.
Let's leave.
That's it. She just has something she could do for us. Give us something.
Time passes.
We
Free
got
stuff.
heroism.
And this encounter is complete.
My turn. We're gonna go to the Cheshire. No, we're not going to Cheshire. What happened? Let's go to the
That's
Okay.
my one.
Okay.
Shrine?
What about
Shrine?
a shrine?
Maybe,
Yeah,
yeah.
shrine would be good.
Let's get some occult on the go cult. 2790. That was my fast thinking for the day. Everything else will be incredibly slow.
Let's go to the other pub. Which one, Great Mango? Because there's about 8.
2790 was that?
Ah, welcome to the Shrine, the biggest pub in all of Dragonholt.
Got you off guard with the name there. 2790 Shrine.
What's annoying is that literally any of these could be a pub name.
Yeah.
Ah, welcome to the Willow Grove.
Welcome to the guard
Oh,
station.
welcome to the smithy.
Welcome to the old library.
Welcome to the- Welcome to the village hall. Surprisingly, not to do with the administration of town
Welcome
affairs.
to the Northern Road.
Right, okay. 2790 Shrine. The shrine is a building of white marble with a domed glass ceiling.
It's just a massive cross.
Yeah, it's just a giant beer garden. A garden of flowers, fruits, and vegetables is laid. What did I say?
And picnic tables.
Why did I say it like that? A garden of flowers, fruits, and vegetables is laid out.
Legumes.
Vegetables, meat tables.
Yeah.
It's a buffet.
Is laid out behind the and behind the
That's all
shrine.
buffet.
A garden of flowers, fruits, and vegetables is laid out behind the shrine and surrounded by a low garden wall.
Carry on.
In front of the shrine stands a marble column, a beacon fire on at. Okay, try that one again.
A beacon fire.
Yeah, in front of the shrine stands a marble column, a beacon fire on at its tip. If it
Just the tip.
just for a minute, if it is day 5 and 1 or 2 time has passed today, and story point, that's just a no for me there. If it is day 7, good
Nope.
lord. If a story point C2 is marked,
Nope.
otherwise read entry 4010.
4010. Beverly
4010, as
Hills.
they call
4010.
90210.
4010.
4,
20. 90.
What?
Shut up.
Listen, let's just go to the Drunken Hog, have a pint, and wait for this to all blow over.
With a quivering voice, Pete meticulously describes his vegetable garden.
Full of young, slim trees.
I feel like we could write one of these.
Yeah.
Be a lot of very thick trees.
The sanctuary is cool and peaceful. What is that the way I said?
Sanctuary.
The sanctuary. The sanctuary is cool and peaceful. It ripples with light and shadow as natural light filters through the glass dome and falls upon the rocky pool in the center of the room. The space is filled with the silence of a babbling spring, so not really silence at all then.
That's the silence of a loud thing.
The space is filled with the silence of a babbling spring as water bubbles up from the rock and flows out into the garden outside.
Well, that was one paragraph that only took us 15 minutes.
The spirits are strong here, says a voice from behind you. An elderly... Oh, that's not the voice for an orc. The spirits are strong here.
Whoa,
No, they're
whoa,
posh,
orcs
they're
can
not.
sound however they
Orcs?
want.
Orcs are posh?
The other orc was posh.
Yeah, elves are
Dwarves
your-
and Northern Irish.
Orcs are posh then.
Elves and
We're
Northern.
going with posh orcs. Our headcanon is posh orcs.
Orcs.
Posh orcs. Orcs and vegetables.
And they all shuffle around and whittle some ducks.
This is the weirdest town. Okay, posh orcs. Well-to-do orcs.
Dragonholt is just a conspiracy made by Big Pub.
Okay,
Carry on.
sure. The spirits are strong here.
Yeah. you can
Says
tell
a
everyone's
voice
drunk on
from
them.
says a voice from behind you. An
50
elderly
shades of
orc
whittled
man.
ducks.
An elderly orc man emerges from the shadows.
The chat is not helping.
You are bad
The
boys.
chat's
Bad
brilliant. I
boys.
think this is my favourite
This is
group of
definitely-
regulars
Yeah.
that we've had.
Okay, I'll start again. The spirits are strong here, says a voice from behind you. An elderly orc.
Second thought, let's not go to Dragonholt.
Stop.
This is a silly place.
Stop.
Hey, stop, War Dog. You
Everyone,
stop it.
Let him read 410.
It's not 420, is it? An elderly orc man emerges from the shadows, his arms clasped behind his back. He walks to the pool and stands, staring into its ever-shifting light. If you listen, you can hear them speaking. He cocks his head, then grins a tusky grin in your direction.
Oh yeah, they got tusks.
Or perhaps that's just the water. I'm Scala. I look after the shrine. You are welcome here. Mark story point C2.
Did my point help?
Shall I
No, I
read?
didn't.
Shall I read what War Dog has typed?
I did.
Yeah. Out loud, I mean.
Yes.
Tender vegetable garden.
Vegetable garden.
Circled by a thick oakwood frame, clearly polished with great vigour. The eggplants are bulbous. The peaches are juicy. Pete doesn't know that they're a fruit because Pete's garden is in Dragonholt, the capital of filth.
To answer your question, Mango, it's Scala, S-K-A-L-A. Scala, perhaps, if you want.
Skylar.
So
I
we
did
have...
it because I was good at it.
I liked it.
Skylar.
A choice is
A
before
choice?
us.
My
We can
word.
spend some time in quiet meditation,
Oh, spiritual.
or we can
meditation.
leave the shrine.
Spirit.
Spiritual meditation. 31.
Spirit.
3196. What's happening?
Oh no.
30. What was that? 3196. Was a burp.
Got to admit, I'm a little bit muddled on the plot.
Yeah, well, this is
completely
ignored it. Yeah, this is the
So
plot.
we
Yeah.
lost
Thir-
This is just
Yeah, we've
these
lost. You
10
could say we've
minutes.
lost the plot. Yes. 3196. You settle yourself on a rock by the pool's edge and open yourself to the experience.
Carry on.
As you meditate, Scala silently places a candle before you, lights it, and what does he do?
Candle
he
girl.
shuffles away.
Ooh.
Oh,
What was that?
that.
Does that still work? Hold on, let me just check this. Yeah, it's fine. It still works.
If something's gone wrong, tell us in chat.
Yeah, if you can't hear us or anything.
You
Will's
watch-
got very excited stamping his feet and something made a noise like it had come and
Wheels
blood.
is always very excited when he's stabbing his feet.
like a hungry dog. Yeah. You watch the candle burn down, listening to the murmuring of the spirits and the water. Mark 1 progress in spiritual meditation.
Hell yeah, we do.
If story point I7 is marked, if story point I7 is marked, but F3 is not.
I7 is not.
Okay. Otherwise, time passes, and this encounter is complete.
Right, it's almost day 2.
Okay.
Well, that was a joy.
Guard station?
Should have advertised this instead of Three Kingdoms. It's been an absolute hoot.
Where do I want to go? Great question. We've been to the Drunken Hog yet?
We've not.
God, why is it called that?
Drunken Hog. Let's go.
Let's go drink some hogs, am I right?
The Drunken Hog is marked by no sign save a discarded oak hogshead. The building is low and square, its entrance sunken below the street and barred by a door black with grime. My kind of place. Its windows are greasy waxed paper, and the entire building seems like it hasn't been cleaned since it was built. Sounds like I own this place.
It sounds like some of the flats we saw in Brighton with the Goblin Cave.
You didn't go to the one I went to that was like a trash hovel.
Oh, God.
I went to one and the people that currently live there were still in bed. I went there at 3 p.m. for a viewing. The people that lived there were still in bed with their dog, and the patio was covered.
They're in bed with the dog?
Yes.
Okay.
The patio, they didn't get up or say anything. The patio was covered in dog waste. There were flies. There was leftover food and food boxes all over the kitchen.
At what point do you just go, yeah, I'm good?
This is really weird because I don't remember putting my flat up for sale.
Honestly, it was like nowhere I have ever. I went to uni and went to all boys flats, and they were not like that. Nowhere was like that. It was the worst place I've ever been. So, the Drunken Hog, day 1. The long common room is hazy with smoke from the hearth and the pipes of the patrons. A burly human man with a shaved head and a pointed beard
is
arm wrestling with an equally burly human woman.
I thought you said burly.
Yeah, so he's like burly as in like strapping, not as in like
almost
as in barely, as in almost human.
Burly?
Yeah,
burly
they sound the same. It's fine.
Human man with a shaved head and a pointed beard is arm wrestling with an equally burly human woman covered in tattoos.
A woogity. Oh, that's
a small crowd.
Matt. Hello, Matt. Sorry.
A small crowd has gathered, excitedly exchanging coins as they wager on the outcome.
We've got coins.
Correct, we do.
I'm betting on the tattooed woman.
Go away.
The Drunken Hog. Wait.
I'm gonna pay you $5 to frick off.
I loved all those memes on the Reddit account. I'm gonna pay you a clay dog.
The room is long and narrow. Its rafters too low and its windows too high and small. The dim lighting and rushes on the floor hide what you judge from the smell is a terrible conglomeration of sick and mess and spilled ale. None of the patrons seem in the least put out by the squalor, and the room is full of raucous celebration and surly solitary alcoholism in equal measure. This does sound exactly like this flat that I viewed. Against the long east wall lies a counter of rough-hewn wood, as much palisade as bar. Behind it stands a gaunt orc woman, her cheeks marked with scars too regular to be accidental. At the counter leans a tall human man with broken veins and the red flush of alcohol colouring his speech. A short but heavily muscled gnome man perches atop a stool close at hand. They appear to be locked in an argument. I'm telling you, Thelga, there's no such thing as gnomes, says the human man to the orc.
I love this pub.
The orc woman raises an eyebrow and nods her head towards the gnome. Right? Yeah, he's clearly a gnome, sitting right next to the human. So what about Norman then? What's he?
Sorry, it's Gnorman.
He even spells his name with a G. Don't ask me what accent it is, by the way. It's just not mine. The gnome finishes his drink in one gulp. Yeah, man. How do you explain?
Hey, I'm just gnoming over here. All right.
I've lost this. Yeah, man. How do you explain me sitting right here if gnomes don't exist? The human whose accent I've already forgotten.
I'm just gnoming over here, boys.
Hey, don't worry about it.
I'm not a
makes a face somewhere between offended and pity. Don't be so hard on yourself, gnome. You're just short. No reason to call yourself a gnome.
This accent is wicked.
He bats a gnome. Seriously, he has
can he
to
live with
be
this?
a gnome on the shoulder. Norman brushes a human's hand aside.
Oh, Mum.
Does anyone remember what Norman's accent was?
No.
Hey, man.
I can't do that. I can't do that.
Knock off John Lennon.
Was it?
Norman
Hey,
is
man.
an insult to my race,
Hey,
he
man.
explained, shaking his head. Alright, what about Sapphire? Oh, the new girl, Sapphire's niece. He trails off, snapping his fingers for a moment. Mariam, corrects the orc woman.
no.
The human man looks
Miriam.
almost shocked. Who? I don't know what I'm doing.
I don't know what's happening anymore.
The little one
We
that
haven't
just
had
came
a
to
single
town
Sour
with the
Patch
orc.
Child.
She can't be more than a decade old. What are you on about? I can't do the gnome accent ever again.
Do you want me to read the gnome? Where's the gnome?
I'll do John Lennon if you want.
I swear, Reginald, you're just impossible to deal with.
I can't, you can't. No.
He slaps 2 coins on the bar.
I need another drink, Felga. This idiot is too much.
The orc woman behind the bar chuckles and pours him another mug of ale and pockets of coins. Eat, drink, and engage in tavern banter, which requires you each spend 5 gold, or leave.
Now,
I want some tavern banter.
I would not normally pay 5 gold to eat, but I would very much enjoy some
Okay.
tavern banter.
We all need to mark that we have
Spent 5 gold.
spent 5
Oh,
gold.
so we've got a collective pool, so we just put 95. That's fine.
I mean, we each spend, but I've written 95 now, so it's fine. You approach the bar and order refreshments. Thelga, the orc bartender, whose accent I've also forgotten, pours you a drink
Orcs
in
are
a
just
chipped
posh.
wooden
She was the one
cup
that could have the rising inflection.
and ladles out a helping of stew atop a slice of stale bread in a wooden trencher. Only the best, she says in a leaden voice. You each recover 2 stamina.
Yeah, it's fine. We've got full stamina.
You eat and drink and find the food improves as you drink. The crowd continues to argue and boast all around you. I was too ambitious with this. I'm not doing accents again. I was too ambitious. Thought too much of myself.
Just hit me up if there's a gnome, yeah?
I'm definitely doing one of the Beatles for the next time. I get a
At the
character.
bar, Reginald continues in his incoherent insistence as to the non-existence of gnomes. Gnorman, for his part, seems
Norman, nice one.
seems to put that argument aside in favour of trading both with an old human man missing several of his fingers. The stories and rumours the 2 of them swap seem more than simply improbable. We can listen to rumours and stories, brag about your own
Perfect.
adventures, argue with Reginald that gnomes exist, but one of us has to be a gnome to do that.
Ah.
Look for an excuse to start a tavern brawl, which is what I want to do, or finish
Ooh.
your meal alone. Let's start a tavern brawl. Can we
Yeah,
start a
hell
tavern
yeah,
brawl?
let's do it.
He's a brawl. You're a brawler.
Yeah, you're a brawler. You were made for this. You were born for this.
Yeah.
You order a tankard of cheap yellow beer and look around the room for a likely target. Not far from the bar, you find an enormous human man sitting on a stool with his back to a wooden post. He stares at the fire, watching the flames with a scowl, until you accidentally stumble and spill your beer all over his colourless
Oh no, look what
shirt.
happened by accident.
What did you do that for? He squeaks. Staring down at his soaked and dripping torso. I don't. He sniffs, stabs at his nose, and begins to cry in great hiccoughing sobs. Suddenly,
Coughing.
That's a great word.
that's what it says.
I'm not questioning you, I'm questioning that.
Suddenly
read
a
that in
hand
stuff
claps
before.
on your shoulder and you're spun to stare face to face with a gnome regular, Gnorman. You need his voice.
You made time to cry, friend.
Growls Gnorman.
And you're gonna pay for that.
He roars, shoves you back and leaps to the floor, shucking his vest and revealing a surprisingly well-muscled body.
All
I'm
right.
done.
Fight! Roars the crowd. I feel like we've got off track here and it's
Alright,
also
it's fine, it's
entirely-
happening.
Gnorman throws a punch.
Let's do
You
it.
step aside. Someone throws a broken wooden mug at the back of your head. Wooden mugs? That sounds awful. And the next thing you know, the entire tavern is a riot of fists and flying
Yes!
furniture.
Fight,
Reginald
fight,
climbs on top of the bar and lays about himself with a stool.
Reginald.
Gnorman launches himself at a woman with silver teeth and wrestles her into a headlock. 2 men, one bald and wiry, the other with a thicket of grey hair, lunge at you, punching and spitting. Thelga, the bartender, lifts a stout oaken rod and comes roaring around the bar, waving it above her head. Enough, she bellows. I'm trying to run a business here. You each lose 3 stamina.
Good.
You also, but we gained it, so I'm back on 7. You each need 2 additional unless you have brawling or endurance. I have endurance.
I
Pete has
have-
brawling.
I have brawling.
Ooh,
I don't have
the 5 years don't cover you for
endurance.
this one.
So what do I get from brawling?
We don't lose an additional 2.
Okay, so
Because I have
Oh my
endurance.
God.
We lose
but
4?
You do. Just 3.
3.
3.
So I'm on 5 steps.
Well, we
we
can
should-
spend more money. Eventually.
Why am I
Oh
so
wait, mark 1 progress in combat training.
Hell yeah! Training some combat.
Passing 1 pencil.
We should have got more pencils.
We are stocked with pencils. We have lots of artists
Eventually-
here.
Eventually, you, Norman, and a number of other belligerent patrons, each nursing bruises and sprains, find yourselves forcibly ejected and hurled out into the streets of Dragonholt. The gnome brawler lies on his back in the mud of the street, chuckling to himself.
Ah,
He says,
haven't had a good scrap like that since Riverwatch.
"Time passes. This encounter is complete."
Good God.
Okay.
Good Gnod.
So we have 1 time left.
Well,
Yeah.
In this
today.
day.
Yeah. And then
Hope everyone enjoyed
when
the
the day
ball.
ends, we get an entry. It's my go, isn't it?
Is it?
Is it?
Don't I go after you?
Peach went before
Oh.
you, didn't he?
Okay.
We went to the shrine. Yeah, we did.
Yes. I'm going to the market street.
Might quit.
Seems we've already spent 5 gold. We might as well spend the rest of it.
I love capitalism.
500.
Swiftifer.
55. Hey, little girl.
Go Riverwatch. Someone in
I
chat,
can count all the
No
way.
Someone in
to
chat said-
55.
go Riverwatch.
Go Market Street.
Good morning.
All right. Dragonholt's Market Street is barely 100 yards long. A wide, partly cobbled lane that runs from the village green out towards the fields and farms that surround the town. Along the centre of the street marches a line of trees, providing a number of
What kind
convenient
of trees?
boughs to which merchants might tie their tents and awnings where they might set up their stalls.
Good
Bordering the
words.
street are several permanent fixture stores. Along the west side of the street, a seamstress, a woodworker, a butcher, and a smithy. Along the east side, an apothecary shop, a bakery, and a Fletcher. A small tea house stands between the apothecary shop and the baker. There are no posted business hours, and you can't say you've ever seen the shop open, but it is kept in fine condition all the same. Read the entry below that corresponds to the current day. Day 1.
Day 1.
A small group of young goats is cavorting in the row of trees. Hell yeah, they are.
Oh, what?
Climbing up into the lower branches and leaping down upon one another. 2 small human children are watching and laughing, but when they see you, they run off between the bakers and the Fletchers to play somewhere else. Sorry, the goats at least are indifferent to your presence. Why? I want to stroke them.
Goats.
Gnotes. For the time being, no stalls or carts are set up along the centre of the street. A notice board under a large tree at the end of the street indicates that the next market day is 2 days from today. Oh God, we read that, didn't we? God's sake. Nothing of interest is happening here right now. The encounter is complete.
Yay!
Day 3.
Yeah.
Day 3 is
I
market
worked that
day.
out
We
when you
out-
said
we out of
2
time
days
now?
from now.
Oh, we didn't advance the time.
No.
No.
Can I do another one?
Yeah.
No, you didn't let me do another one when I had a short one.
Sweet.
Pete's turn.
If I get a really short one, don't worry about it. You'll be back on the table after.
I'll just go apothecary after this.
Didn't you go to the apothecary?
No,
You've
not
been
yet.
talking about nothing but the apothecary.
No, I
And
still
then you
haven't
didn't
gone.
go there.
I'm nervous. I don't want to meet my heroes.
I mean, it is night time, and also I'm pretty sure Mariam is taking it over.
It is the evening, that's true.
It's night. We're past evening. We're into
Should
night.
we go to like a place that might be open
Yeah.
in the evening then?
Night
a
time.
pub.
Back to the Drunken Hog.
Where do we start? Where are we staying? The Swan?
Yes.
Yeah, we haven't actually gone to this one yet.
Should we go back? Did we go to the Countess?
Yes,
We did.
That's where we gave.
That's
the
right.
But a
letter.
lot of them do say if it's your first time visiting.
Yeah.
So probably.
Let's go to this one.
I haven't been to the smithy. We haven't been to the guard station.
Yeah, but they sound like day places. Maybe not guard station actually.
Let's go to the Swan, 7400.
Guard station is a nighttime.
Yeah,
encounter.
no crime happened tonight.
No, I mean guard station is an all day round because they're guarding. So
No, first time word, no
if they
crime.
only guard 9 to 5, they're
Yeah.
not very effective.
No crime has ever happened after the hours of 5 o'clock.
As far as I'm aware, there's no crime at night.
Also, it's a pub.
No, there's no crime during the day because everyone can see you.
7400.
Joke.
That's a joke. Yeah. 7400. The Swan. The Swan is it's actually just a big swan. No, the Swan is a neat, elegant building standing on a foundation of grey stone. Grey
Talking about me.
stone. The inn rises 2 stories above you, its walls shingled with blue-stained wood, and its And blah, 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 blah. The inn rises 2 stories above you, its walls shingled with blue-stained wood, and its glassed-in windows surrounded by...
glasses?
It's glassed-in windows. I mean, it's got glass in them.
Okay.
I mean, to be fair, we just went to a pub that had paper for windows.
Yeah.
So.
What? It's
glass
like
paper.
it's like Eastern.
Glassed-in windows surrounded by whitewashed shutters. The obvious care that goes into the building's upkeep somehow conspires to make it seem smallish and homey, despite being one of the largest buildings in the village. Read the entry that corresponds with the current day, which is day 1 still. The common room is particularly quiet. A pair of patrons are playing a game that features a circular board and several pieces of wood carved to resemble knights, dragons, or other fanciful creatures. Fanciful creatures like knights. A human woman sits in a comfortable-looking chair by the hearth, wrapped almost entirely in a blanket and reading a book. If 6 or more days have passed...
Yes, time.
6 more time have passed today, read entry 6028.
Okay.
Yes.
You know what this is
by
about?
the hearth.
No, I was just saying that we've gone more than 6 times.
Chilling by the hearth with my sexy trees.
Just double checking that what number was. Sorry.
6028.
Yeah, 6028. You see Braxton at a table near the kitchen,
That's the orc woman.
leaning back in her chair with a relaxed expression. She too notices you and waves, motioning for you to join her. We can either join Braxton in the common room, ignore Braxton and retire for the night, or leave the Swan.
We could talk.
No, I want to ignore her.
That
All
would
remaining time today.
that would end the day.
Yeah.
But I hate her.
No, we hate Miriam.
I hate
Braxton's
both of
fine.
them.
I quite
Braxton's
like
fine.
Braxton.
It's your choice.
Let's go talk to Braxton. You can be a dick to Braxton if you like. Sorry. Read entry 2609.
Got you flipping all over the place, haven't they?
Yeah, we got Yoda over here.
Back flips, front flips, sideways,
Sideways flips, diagonal flips.
upside down flips,
Yeah.
right way up flips.
Inverted flips where you go into yourself. That's impossible, right?
That's disgusting,
What
Wheels.
the
2609.
I know.
If I get rid of that, it's pretty nice. All right. What voice was Braxton? Posh?
Posh.
Because we're being consistent.
Yeah.
Obviously.
When nothing if not
Yeah.
consistent.
Good evening, says
evening.
says Braxton. Miriam and Sapphire are finishing dinner. Just as she's saying it, the 2 gnomes emerge from the kitchen. Sapphire sets a large pot of stewed potatoes and mutton in the center of the table and vanishes back into the
Did
kitchen.
I ask for
Mariam sets a basket of dinner rolls and a jar of berry jam beside the pot and takes her seat beside
Can I
Braxton.
send this back?
What was Sapphire's voice?
Who's Sapphire?
Which one was Sapphire?
Ursul's daughter?
I'm going to make this one up. Here we are, says Sapphire
Make it up.
as she reappears. With, one of the Beatles, isn't it? Says Sapphire as she reappears with a pitcher of milk and a second pitcher of water. A picture of milk.
Picture of
the guest of honor.
Jordy, love that milk.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Jordy, love that water.
Oh.
You frame it and put it on your wall.
God.
God.
A pitcher.
Get the pictures in.
Oh.
Spoons. That's what the Swan is. That's the Weatherspoons of Dragonholt. Go on, mate. You can do it. Go on, bud. Why is it always your ones?
Say Sapphire, she reappears with a pitcher of milk and a second pitcher of water. Dig in, everyone. I'll be right back after I check on other patrons. Thank you, Sapphire, says Braxton as she ladles stew into a bowl. You serve yourself something to eat, and before long, Sapphire returns and sits to enjoy her dinner. How did things go with the guard? Were we meant to go to the guard station?
Oh, wait, maybe no, she's talking to Braxton.
Oh, asks Sapphire as she pours herself a glass of milk from the picture. Braxton swallows a mouthful of stew. It went well. It seems they could really use my help. The captain of the guard, Tweagle.
Lord of the Rings. Hey, can I copy
How do you
your work?
How do you spell that?
Tweeegal.
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 Tweagle.
Make sure you change it. Yeah, whatever.
One wing.
Progo.
Them all.
The wondering.
My throat hurts from laughing.
The captain of the guard, Tweagle, thinks it would be good for me to start by teaching the others what I've learned as a knight. It seems I haven't a true master at arms since the war. What does Miriam sound like?
Oh,
Whatever
just
the
whatever
heck
you
that
feel
was.
like.
Yeah,
If
Donald
you could
Duck.
keep that up.
Yeah. That's great! Exclaims Mariam as she stuffs a piece of roll covered with jam into her mouth.
Sounds like Miriam.
The
Yeah, I'll
gaping
probably
jaw.
find some work. She manages before taking a drink of milk. We
From
can
the
either say, congratulations, Braxton. How's the shop looking, Mariam? And what brought you to Dragonholt, Sapphire?
Don't
Can
care.
we
I don't
say-
want to ask
Can we say
questions.
get some hecking manners, Mariam? Instead of stuffing stuff in your mouth.
hecking.
Yeah, you heard.
Watch yourself, young lady.
I think
No,
you're
well, I don't give a damn about Mariam, so it's either
Yeah,
congrats-
Braxton's the only one I care about.
Yeah,
This is-
congratulations,
Oh.
Braxton.
Okay.
Look, you don't care about anyone, so this at
Also,
least
Braxton-
I don't care about one person.
Of the three of them, Braxton
I
is the
care
easiest accent
about-
for me to do.
Looks at notes.
26.
I care about the
Son-
community.
Yeah.
Son, we
Yeah.
live in a society.
Yeah. I,
This
look
is so sad. Can we
I-
get a million watches on this?
I
Twitch
care
video?
about Dragonholt.
Earlier that day, I don't care for Dragonholt.
Yeah. You're saying I play favorites. You're wrong. Okay, 2638. Oh, that's the same.
How old I am?
2638.
38. Wow.
2,638 years old today.
There's a dash in between.
Okay.
26,
Oh,
38.
open
Oh,
with the-
that's the age bracket.
So we
No, that's
say
how old I am.
we say congratulations, Braxton, and then yes, congratulations, says Mariam, who I increasingly hate. She leaps to her feet, standing on her chair. What an awful person! And
I think
lifts
it's about her, isn't it?
and lifts her glass
Flipping gnomes.
to Braxton, the new master at arms. I'm just changing it every time. To
I hate
to-
Mariam enough that.
To Braxton.
yeah, to Braxton, says Sapphire, raising her own glass, and the two patrons playing their game also
Braxton.
raise their glasses. I'm not. To Braxton.
I've got a healing potion. Because I'm an apothecary.
I'm not master at arms yet, says Braxton. I've just agreed to help out a little. Formally joining the Countess's guard. That's a big commitment, Mariam. I don't make those lightly.
Braxton kind of reminds me of Brienne.
I could be more. I could Brienne. I could Brienne up a bit more. Yeah. But they've stopped talking now, so it's over. Oh, says Mariam. Of course. Then she sits down and stares thoughtfully at her glass of cider.
I thought it was milk.
3381.
Oh, she was drinking milk.
I should just slip that one
She's
out.
just mixing her drinks, isn't she? She's gonna have a bad night tomorrow.
That's going to curdle in her
Milk
stomach.
Yeah.
cider.
You.
Oh, don't.
It's not a drink.
Ah,
Wouldn't be a good one
Rum
either.
ham, milk stick,
yeah.
milk cider.
Milk steak with cider jelly beans, please.
It's a green Russian. You try and fail to stifle a yawn. Mariam and Sapphire follows. Babbling Brook came back. Mariam and Sapphire follow suit, and even Braxton falls to the impulse. I think. No, that's Mariam. I think I'll be going to bed now, says Mariam as she stretches.
No one
Big-
asked.
Big day tomorrow.
No one
Is
asked Mariam.
You help Braxton and Sapphire clear the table. Braxton
Because
and
Mariam wouldn't.
Yeah. Braxton and Mariam ascend the stairs together toward their room, and Sapphire
Are they
checks.
together?
Oh. And Sapphire checks on the woman
Choices.
reading by the hearth because she's a nice person, unlike Mariam, who is garbage.
It makes everything about
eating gum.
herself.
The two men who were playing chess, or a chess derivative, must have returned to their
It's
rooms.
chest with an E on the end.
Cheese.
Chizzle.
Chesse, have returned to their rooms while you ate. You stretch and decide to turn in for the night as well. All remaining time today passes. The encounter is complete.
It's day
Okay.
2 in the Big, Brother house.
And it's 20 to 6.
Day 2 in the Big Brother house.
Need to read 3877.
Oh my gosh, Mariam is starting to sound like King Kai from DBZ. Hello, I'm not. Oh, I can't do it. I could do it when I was younger.
Do you want to finish?
End
You
the
don't
day,
have to. I
Peter.
just thought.
Oh, I see.
you might-
End the day.
So I read this whole bit.
Yeah.
Okay. You return to your room and turn in for the night, collapsing into a sleep almost immediately. Your dreams are
Very
strange and unsettled, full of lurking threats and the shadow of wings falling across the land,
Trees and wooden
cast by
ducks.
a roaring fire. You wake in the middle of the night, cross your window, and look. And,
What do we do to the window?
you
Cross
wake
it.
in the middle of the
Cross,
night, cross to your window, and look out across the sleeping village by moonlight. Eventually you sleep again. It doesn't say you go back to bed.
Donk.
Eventually you sleep again and dream of an endless forest and a plaintive voice calling.
Oh yeah, I'm dreaming of that.
An endless forest and a plaintive voice calling for you. You each recover half of your maximum stamina, so
Hell
you go
yeah,
back to
that's
full.
how much I lost.
You each
Half,
refresh your
that's
activation
5,
token.
So yeah, I'm back to normal
This
now.
chapter of the story ends here. When you're ready to begin the next chapter, read entry 3432.
What time is it?
20 to
6.
6.
Let's carry on.
For a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Chapters and taking breaks. The end of each day marks the end of a chapter.
3432, please.
The end of a chapter is a great time to take a break. 3432.
Is it your turn? Didn't you do
I'm
the
going back.
apothecary?
I haven't done the apothecary yet. We
Didn't
just
you
talked
do,
about
you
this.
did Market
I
Street
can't
and then
do
you
Swan.
did the Swan.
Yeah, so it's
I wasn't saying it was my go. I'm just saying
okay.
let's just carry on.
3432.
To
Do you want
Grace?
to go from here? Or do you want to choose where we go from next?
I want to choose where we go now.
Okay, let me see. This goes on for a while. Someone else can take
Oh,
over
and
if
there's
they
decisions.
want. You can want to go?
Okay. I want
Yeah.
to go to the guard station next.
Well, after the apothecary shop.
Well, it might not be open in the morning. Most of them don't open until the
That's true.
afternoon. What am I reading?
3432.
Yeah, that big one, yeah.
This is there's only 2 taverns in Dragonholt.
Shut up.
I absolutely doubt that.
Shut
Oh,
up.
2 taverns and 2 inns.
All
okay.
under the pub umbrella.
You
2 taverns, 2 inns.
wake
2,
the next morning a bit,
Gastropubs, yeah.
a bit later than
3 holes in the
usual,
wall.
greeted again by the smell of freshly baked bread and seasoned meats. As you dress yourself, you can hear Mariam's voice
I'm so glad
above
that we
the
can
other
dress ourselves, by the way.
As you dress yourself, you can hear Mariam's voice above the other patrons coming from the common room.
God, I
Obviously.
Is
hate
she
it.
like purposely written as obnoxious?
I think so.
I really don't like
You
her.
step out of your room and
Or
head
is it-
down to breakfast.
Is it confirmation bias?
Mariam, Braxton, and Sapphire are sitting together as usual, and the younger gnome waves you over. I couldn't decide.
Good know.
You greet them and take your seat, serving yourself a plate of delicious-looking food.
Delicious looking, but
Ra-
horrible tasting.
It's the picture. Braxton has apparently asked Sapphire about the great oak in Eventide Forest. Oh, you must be talking about the Tree of Tales, answers Sapphire.
Yeah, the accent's back.
Don't know which one, but
Sapphire's the beetle, by the way.
I don't care. That old oak has been there for centuries, according to the stories. The people of Dragonholt say that a benevolent spirit lives in the
Stop
tree.
conflating it with Ireland.
I'll do what I want.
No, I'm talking to Wheels.
Sapphire stops to take a drink of her tea before continuing. There's a custom in Dragonholt to tell your tales to the spirit, whether spoken or written. They say you will be blessed with good fortune if the spirit is moved by your story. Some of the villagers have taken to leaving gifts for the spirit as well, in hopes of gaining its admiration, I suppose. Fascinating, says Braxton.
I was super interested to see how long you could raise that inflection for.
Mariam frantically scribbles something on a piece of parchment and pockets it. When Braxton looks at her curiously, Mariam says, "Just making a note to myself."
I'm just making a note to myself.
Braxton raises an eyebrow and an almost imperceptible grin crosses Sapphire's lips. We can ask Mariam and Braxton about their plans for the day. We can ask if there are any special events coming up, or we can finish our breakfast and prepare for the day ahead. I think special events sound
War Dog
cool.
has listed how many establishments there are
To
in
taverns, to inns, to guest houses, to bed and breakfast, to hotels, to motels, through brotels, to offals, to waffles, and to brothels.
and the Holiday Inn.
Mariam and Braxton bustle themselves out the door for their day, bantering about the renovations, the
Oh,
apothecary shop, and how much work they still have to do. Market day is tomorrow, says Sapphire as she clears away your breakfast setting. There'll be plenty of activity on the market street then. And tomorrow night there's a bonfire at the village
Full of
green.
ours now.
Hang on, bonfire tomorrow as well on village green.
At the same time as the market.
No, market day is during the day, and then the bonfire is
Today's Thursday, you know that. Will.
night.
Horsham humour for you there.
Bonfire.
2 days from now.
Day 3 night.
And porridge.
Village. So we've got a lot to do tomorrow. I'm already making an itinerary. I'm not joking.
At 10
a.m.
We've gone full
I
Diaz
think
again.
technically some sort of spirit festival thing, but as far as I can tell, it's just an excuse to meet and mingle. She pauses and cocks her head. Suppose that means there's nothing special happening today, huh? Well, I'm sure you'll find something. You thank Sapphire for breakfast and return to your room to retrieve what you'll need for the day ahead. This encounter is complete.
You sleep for 24 hours.
Now we're going to the guard station.
Come on then. I'll do the guard station.
Okay.
2:30. I'm glad it says guard station.
I wanted to pick more than I wanted to read.
The guard station is used as a meeting place for the village guard and as a place to store the few implements of war the village
And the
has.
pub.
And it's also a pub. There is also a bar.
An attached annex, accessible only from outside, serves as a jail cell, though it is rarely used. Behind the building is a training area with several training dummies.
Whoa, don't call me a
Yeah.
dummy.
There's one of the training
dummy.
right here.
If this is your first time visiting this location, read entrance 1868.
Read
I
entrance.
believe you mean entry.
1868. Back in my day. Oh, what a opening line. A dull thwack sounds as you circle around to the rear of the guardhouse.
Keep your shield up.
Oh, wait. Keep your shield up, calls a gruff voice.
You gotta lead with the gruff voice,
Keep your
man.
shield up, says a gruff voice.
Yeah.
My shield is fine, drawls another. Two guards, both human, are sparring with wooden swords and shields. One, a woman, with a bored expression. The other, a lantern-jawed man,
Well, didn't tell me they put me in the story.
whose face is red with frustration.
I meant the bored woman.
Thank you for clarifying.
Not the lantern-jawed man.
I don't know what that means. In my head, it's like a lamprey fish. You know, the ones with the big teeth.
Yeah.
and
Okay.
An orc man, his head spotted with wispy grey hair, sits and watches them, shaking his head.
Your shield is fine
I feel like he's
against
watching
decon
them
here.
shaking his head.
It's happening again. Call the police.
Your shield is fine against Decon here, but against a real opponent,
Decon! That's the guard that was hitting on Sonia!
you'd be dead,
Oh, I thought it
Talia.
was like the Stark brother. Which case I was gonna laugh because it was.
Decon, the human man, puffs out his chest.
All right, head. Normal human standing.
He's Sonia's creepy guard, where whenever they're riding out, he's supposed to be guarding her. He would tell her all of his made-up exploits to try and impress her.
It's not becoming to strike a lady, that's all. Oh, Decon. Come now. It's 1868, man.
Get with the times.
Talia rolls her eyes. An easy thing to say after you've spent all morning trying to strike me and failing. I don't know if you needed that last bit.
Yeah.
Put your claws away.
yeah.
She throws her sword and shield down. This is pointless. I'm already a better fighter than both of you put together. Well, that would be very
Ooh.
inconvenient for them, so that's not very fair.
Yeah, not weaken.
It's Deacon Deakon, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I'll be back when there's some actual work that needs doing. She stalks past you, barely sparing you a glance, and is
I
soon
want to fight
gone.
her.
Withering. Do you want to fight her?
I want
do you
you
want
to fight
Or do you want
her.
to fight her or do you want her to kick your ass?
The orc man stands stiffly as he notices you. Ah, he says.
I actually want to fight Decon.
Think funny about that?
We don't get many visitors here. I'm Tweagle.
Hey, it's Tweagle!
Keeper of the Guanquay.
I would die for Tweagle.
The single band.
That's Talia. This is Deacon. He nods over his shoulder to the human behind him, who flourishes his sword into an over-elaborate bow. Bow.
Like a Twitch weapon, like Bloodborne.
It's actually a whip. It's a flaccid sword.
Swords are really hard when you use them.
I want to walk out.
If a sword stays hard for over 4 hours, you must consult a physician.
We represent her ladyship's guard here in Dragonholt. Such as it is.
Hey, Wheels, how long you growing the beard?
Forever and ever, I guess.
How long you growing the beard?
Oh, this long, possibly short. Just whenever I can be bothered to trim it, basically. Tweagle is his old name before Gnollum saved it.
Good lord.
My special.
I think you mean, oh my god.
Frodder, get off the path!
Turn it off, you fools! Please continue reading the passage.
eagle stomps over to you and peers at you with watery yellow eyes.
Ugh.
You're new. Just came in with Sapphire's niece, eh? Through Eventide Forest, no less. How did you find the journey? You explain about your run-in with the bandits. No, we do not.
I haven't got a goddamn thing to say about those people.
And you and Braxton and Mariam fought them off. Well, good job that. Bandits, eh?
Bandits.
He turns and studies Deacon, who appears to be trying on different gratuitously masculine poses with his sword, peering at his reflection in a muddy puddle in the practice yard. That's not good news. Mark 1 progress in heroism. Really?
Really?
Okay.
We didn't do anything.
I guess heroism is just the perception of other people.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we went through the forest, yeah.
Time passes as well.
The forest? Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a rest in the
Where's
forest.
the rest of it? That's what I want to know.
Time passes
Ah,
on day
okay.
2. We can either request to use the training
We
ground,
didn't go into the crypt.
or we can leave the guard station.
I think we should leave.
Requires 7 or less time to pass. Yeah. Let's do it.
Yeah.
1322.
Good year.
Indeed. And a fine wine. You retrieve a practice weapon from the rack and square up against one of the blocky training
Wait,
dummies.
we are training.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The dummy doesn't put up much of a fight, of course, but swinging the heavy training weapon around is quite the workout, and your muscles in your arms and back burn as you grunt and thwack away for a few hours.
I need an adult.
You each lose 2 stamina.
Oh, come on, I didn't agree with this.
Yeah, I also wanted to leave.
Oh, well, that's not an 8. There we go.
Good job, buddy.
Mark 1 progress in combat training or 1 progress in physical training. We might as well do
Combat, we've already
Yeah,
started
build it up,
it.
build it up, build it up.
Build her up. Time passes and the
Erected and
encounter is
Spencer
complete.
here.
Okay.
Do you want to? How long do you want to keep going for?
Should
It's
we go to
Grace
the
now, isn't
apoc-
It's 5 to 6.
Well, I did the morning, so I lost my turn.
Oh, okay.
You want to go to the apothecary?
No.
You said you wanted to.
Yeah, I want to. All right, fine. Let's go to the apothecary and then we'll call it a day.
63.
Right.
We'll go to
Before
the pub
my
and wait for this
turn.
all to fall over.
What's it?
What the hell did you just? We're
Oh,
going
it's doing off brands
Oh, is
again.
it? Yeah, off-brand brands. Apothecary, shopacary.
Apothecary shop by Kerry.
Kerry's Apoth. The Apothecary Shopacary is a 2-story building featuring a large storefront and multiple back rooms.
Rack rooms.
A show window fills nearly the entire front wall of the building, looking out towards the village green. If 5 or less time has passed today,
Yeah.
read the entry below that
5 or
corresponds to the
less.
current day. Apothecary Shopacary. Day 2.
2. Yeah.
The walls of the Apothecary Shopacary are still
You've
I
Don't
know
you
put
the
yourself in a
commitment
little
bit.
kerfuffle there.
are still darkened by soot and burnt wood, but you see the front door and its frame have been replaced. The boards that previously covered the front window have been replaced by a tarp. If 0 or 1 time has passed today,
Flipping hippie shop.
2.
2.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
You're combat training.
If
None of the rest of us want
If
to.
0 or 1 time has passed today, if 3 or more time has passed today, otherwise the
Yeah,
apothecary.
it's 2.
Oh, it's 2. Yeah, it's definitely 2.
Yeah.
The apothecary shop is not open. The encounter is complete.
Okay.
Well, thanks for watching Tabletop Tuesdays.
That was so short though.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. It's the fine. It's webs. It's all good.
Yeah, we'll call it here. We'll do this quest next time, I guess. What are you looking at?
Something called big jobs. How they're too tall.
You know who said that? Good Omen.
Of course he did.
Wherever we're at.
Stop reading things you're not allowed to
I
read.
know, but the smith is closed anyway.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you very much for watching this episode of Legacy of Dragonholt on Tabletop Tuesdays. I've been Wills, this has been Pete, and this has been Grace. It's time to find out who wins this Keyforge deck and special enamel key set. I'm going to get one out so you can see it.
I did.
That'll do.
There wasn't a lot left.
We'll obviously give you one that hasn't already been ripped open. This is the ones
That's
that
what you think.
me and Hannah were playing with. So, I'm going to ask everyone in chat
God, I really wanted to touch those things.
a question.
They look very tactile.
Oh, they're very nice.
Oh, they're good.
I'm going to ask everyone in question a chat, and the first person
You could ask
correct-
everyone in question in chat.
Yes, I've been doing that all stream. I'm going to ask everyone in chat a question, and the first person to correctly answer this question with the correct, properly written
Answer.
out answer
Yeah.
will be awarded this Keyforge deck and set of metal enamel keys. These keys are not available for purchase, as far as I'm aware.
What's the best tree?
No,
Is it how old am I?
no.
How am I?
The question is, what was the name of the first adventure that we went on in Legacy of Dragonholt? First person to answer that question correctly wins the prize.
Do I even know that?
It was called Trees.
I've got it here.
And how to do them?
The first one. No.
Damn it! You got it.
Let me see. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, he
got
did
that.
mention
Why did
it.
no
I've
one-
said it today.
Yeah,
I guess I can Google.
I said it today on stream. Yeah, you could also Google, which is, if nobody's answering right now, is a perfectly acceptable thing.
In the meantime, enjoy this ASMR of me moving these metal plates.
First adventure in Legacy of Dragonholt, the first one we did.
Giving them the
Stupid Sexy Trees, brackets the game. DK Drew comes in with To New Roads. DK, you've already won a deck and keys, so I'm going to let the second person grab it. Because I am sending yours out, don't worry. I know that you picked the gravy one. We'll give you the gravy deck.
So, what they're gonna
There we go. Wait for me to join. Congratulations! You have grabbed yourself.
This feels weird.
It felt better before it happened. It's fine. Yeah, you've grabbed yourself a copy of Keyforge, Age of Ascension, one deck, and some beautiful enamel keys. Give us a whisper, a private message on Twitch. You can type /whisper Total War Official. I think that works. And let us know your shipping address, your name, and I also need a contact number now, apparently, which is, sorry, yeah, got to do that now for couriers.
So only call you at the darkest hours.
Just in case I'm feeling lonely.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. We'll send that out to you. Give us that whisper, and we'll pop it in the post. Thank you very much. Dicky Drew, yours is coming as well, don't worry. And thank you very much for watching. This has been TableTop Tuesdays. We've been playing Legacy of Dragonholt, which is right here. I would thoroughly recommend this.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, also,
especially
like,
with two doofuses like this.
Yeah.
That was long.
also, we're not going to complete even the second adventure at this rate. So
No.
there's plenty of content that you haven't seen, and also it's multiple choice adventures, so
We're
you
gonna
could go
play it
down
off
different
stream.
routes. Yeah, we can do.
Maybe.
I think we should.
Play what, Keyforge?
No.
Oh,
it's-
keep doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Up in a pub.
Street. Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
One of the many pubs in Dragonholt, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Or the inns, or the hotels, or the motels. Right. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Wheels. This has been Pete. This has been Grace. We'll see you tomorrow for some exclusive...
We won.
Well, I will. Me and Tom will be back tomorrow at 3 p.m. GMT for PST. Oh, my God. 3 p.m. BST is the time of the stream tomorrow. We're playing Total War 3 Kingdoms. We're playing the 1.1.1 beta patch, which is pretty cool. It's got a lot of very, very good fixes
Yes,
in it.
it's very cool.
It's really, really good. Honestly, it's really good. It's
Maybe
even
we'll
got
make
new
you
features.
play
which
the
is
8
awesome.
Princess trailer again.
Yeah,
It's
we'll
also
probably play the 8
dope.
Princess trailer because it's pretty cool. Go over to YouTube and search Total War and have a look at the trailer for the new DLC, which unfortunately got leaked, so we posted it early, but it's really good. It's really good. It's got some really good music, some cool characters.
The trailer's
I
very
like
cool.
the dude in the leopard print.
Everyone
and I
is
like
very impressed with the trailer so far. We've had loads of people.
No,
saying-
no,
and the
I-
music as well. Is,
music's awesome.
It's one of my favourite trailers we've done, actually.
It's real
really
good.
It's my favourite Three Kingdoms trailer.
Yeah, that's
for
what I
sure.
mean, yeah.
So there you go. Thanks very much for watching. We'll see you next time. And remember, see you soon.